The bride purposely made us look bad, so I wore a different colored dress.
I wore a dress with all the colors.
Note, story has 2 OPs.
Woo.
The bride and the friend.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Original post by first OP. Am I the a-hole for wearing a different colored bridesmaid dress after the bride tried to purposely make us look unflattering? Recently, I, 28 female, was a bridesmaid in my friend Tara, 28 female, and Tony's 30 male wedding, along with bridesmaids Amy, 27 female, Jane, 29 female, and her sister Lily, 32 female. Tara was one of those brides where everything had to be perfect. So early on, Tara placed her priority on the logistics. Because of this, Tara had left the details about the bridesmaid dress for
Is
last.
that Tara or Tara?
It pronounced
Taro.
both Tara or Tara.
Okay.
You can pronounce it either way.
Ube.
By the way, this comes from Bad Dress and /friends brides throwaway. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, Tara had organized a lunch for us in April to talk over the details of the dresses. She handed out swatches and said that the dresses must be in that color and floor length. I asked Tara if she was being serious, to which Tara asked what the problem was. Simply put, the color was ugly and unflattering. OP, already it seems like you're the problem, OP.
Yeah. Maybe
Jane-
you could have just been like, can I have a different color?
Yeah. Jane also spoke up and said that this color is going to make everyone in the party look bad. Amy also agreed. This is like a bad episode of freaking Say Yes to the Dress when all the
No.
bridesmaids are ganging up on the bride.
But look, when you have like 3 people being like, this is the worst color ever, maybe it actually is.
Totally possible.
Maybe it's the color of baby food.
This is not how you bring it up, though.
Yum.
This
Like-
is not how you bring it up.
Peas and carrots.
Tara rolled her eyes at us and said that she was sure and she expected us as bridesmaids to go along with what she wanted. Lily decided to chime in, said that she thought the color was fine. I think that she said this to prevent her younger sister from going full bridezilla. For months, Amy, John, and I begged Tara to consider a different color, but she wouldn't budge. We asked Lily to ask her sister to reconsider, but she said that she was the bride and that we should respect her choices. Yeah, no crap, she was the bride, but that doesn't mean that we have to sacrifice the way we look and look unattractive. Honestly, I feel like they're overreacting. I think that there is a lot of, if the dresses were really revealing or really unflattering, like shape-wise, I think that's fair. But I feel like the color, you don't really get too much say in.
I personally think that both sides are wrong. I think if you have 3 people who are like, yeah, no, this color is literally the ugliest color I've ever seen, you should be like, oh, I should probably not put that in my wedding that I'm having my friends be in, seeing as they hate it.
Yeah.
So I can make it literally any of the infinite colors available to me as an alternative.
But, okay, I'll give you one thing. I'm not saying that you're wrong.
It'd be different if they were saying her dress needed to change.
They're like, that color is disgusting.
Right.
And she's like, it's white.
Right.
No, I'm not saying that you're wrong because I see where you're coming from. However, we've read a lot of stories where people are like, this color is super significant, which is, I'm not saying is this, the case here, but like there are a lot of brides who are like, this is the color I want because this is my husband and I's favorite color. And we've always dreamed of having, navy blue wedding. And they're all like, I don't look good in navy blue.
Yeah.
I don't want to wear it. That's ugly. It's like, okay, but this is my wedding.
Yeah, I feel like it can't
And
be
I really
navy
love
blue. I get it because navy blue would be one thing.
Navy blue. We don't know the color.
I need the color. I need to know what horrendous shade. Imagine it's like a gradient of like baby puke
Yeah.
green and like maroon.
It's like just highlighter yellow.
An incomprehensible color combo.
Maroon's not. Oh, you mean color? Okay.
Right. If you
I was like, maroon's not bad.
split maroon with baby puke green. I mean, I'm physically like upset just thinking about that.
Anyway, Amy pointed out that Tara was probably making us look bad on purpose so that she could look better. And that made me furious. A lot of conjecture going on there. And also, it's her wedding day. She's supposed to look better than you.
Right. That is out of pocket.
And here's where I may be in the wrong. Amy, Jane, and I decided that enough was enough and that Tara was really being unreasonable about this whole thing. And so was Lily. So we decided to lie to Tara and say that we were going to order dresses in the color she wanted and sent her screenshots of dresses in that color. Yeah, you guys are the a-hole. Tara's fine.
Without seeing the color, I have to say you guys are the a-hole.
You are the a-hole unequivocally. Tara is totally fine.
Is there any way that we can get color?
No, I think we're about to. I think we're gonna find it.
Please,
Yeah.
please.
Don't
I hope
look.
there's
Don't
a
tell
link
us
for
because I
color.
think we're gonna find it.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the three of us created a separate group chat and decided to order dresses that would actually make us look good. We agreed on baby blue and bought the dresses online.
Hey, these broads' heads are full of rocks.
Oh my
You
God.
ordered baby blue for a wedding
Oh my God.
as the bridesmaid? Isn't that like?
Isn't
Isn't that supposed to be like very tightly controlled at a wedding?
Yes.
The color blue.
Well, no.
Like,
oh,
or
yes.
specifically,
oh, yeah.
like, what, right?
Something borrowed, something blue. But also, the bridesmaid dress colors are supposed to be tightly controlled. Also, I feel like there might be a different reason for all of them agreeing that color was ugly, and I think it's because they're all controlling and they pick on OP, or they pick on the bride. That's what it feels like. It feels like they're all mean girls.
Right.
They freaking
They
lied
could
to
all
her.
be mean girls. Like all.
They
all-
could be.
The bride also.
I don't know. It's her wedding
the,
day.
If it's the role, if it's the group. No.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the bride's
Yeah.
a mean girl for being
Yeah.
like, wear this color. I'm
Yeah.
just saying,
Sure.
if these
they're
are three
all-
people in your bridesmaids,
yeah, maybe you're
three of your
flocking together,
closest
too.
friends,
Sure.
you might have some overlap in the way that you guys act.
Sure. Tara didn't ask any more questions about the dresses and essentially just took our word that everything was okay. Wow, your friend took your word? Flash forward to the wedding day. The moment we put on our dresses, Tara lost her crap. And I bet that OP's going to call her a bridezilla. I bet that OP's going to call her a bridezilla for that.
That's pretty dumb.
She started yelling at us and crying, and Lily had to escort her out of the room. Apparently, she must have gotten ready elsewhere because we didn't see her up until we were called to go to the venue for the ceremony. The wedding was great, but Tara was upset. Since the wedding, none of us have heard from Tara. However, Lily and Tony have been texting us, calling us horrible people, and claimed we ruined the wedding. Tony even said that Tara almost canceled the whole thing, and he had to force her to go through with it. Maybe Tara was upset that we didn't get the color that she asked for, but I don't think it was right for us to make us... I don't think it was right for her to make us look unattractive. Am I the a-hole? Yeah. Yeah. And there's a verdict, and I think we're going to find the color. You are
Yeah,
automatically
buddy.
the a-hole.
You're
Unequivocally the a-hole.
Imagine like the Statue of Liberty, but it's 5 times bigger and it's just someone's butthole. That's you.
Yeah. Yeah, that is you guys. Wow. Verdict, a-hole. Info, what was the color? Terracotta.
A pretty
not
good
that
color,
bad.
not gonna lie.
That's not that bad.
If it's like
work
a
with
summer or
terracotta.
spring wedding,
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
like a summer
at
wedding,
all.
Good
perfect
shade.
color.
That's nice.
No matter what the color was,
It's
you're still kind of the a-hole.
yeah,
Yes.
it's the bride's
It just would have been
choice.
like more understandable if it was truly like, like
If it was truly something that like everyone who went to that wedding was like, why would
like
she
if
pick
it,
that?
a seafoam green like teacup dress. That's horrific. I'm not gonna wear that. You're not gonna wear
Yeah,
that.
something
I understand.
Like insane. Something insane. This is
Right.
not even close to being
Floor
insane.
length
This is just like
terracotta is
some
perfectly
people
fine.
don't like that color.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be upset about some people not liking that color. Like that's not a color that you can literally sabotage the wedding for.
You know what? I'm buying you tickets to Antarctica. One way. You have a nice trip. Have a vacation.
We know someone who can get you some resale tickets.
We know someone who can get you tickets to Antarctica.
Anyway, to all the Redditors who are saying that it was a fall wedding, ever think she just chose that theme as an excuse? Just saying. OP, what? Second post by second OP. We're about to hear the bride's take, and I'm so excited for that, man.
Your friend is such a
Your
garbage
friend
man.
sucks. Hi, everyone. This is my first time posting on Reddit. I found this forum, and I just need to vent. A little over a week ago, I married the love of my life.
Lommel.
For the most part, the wedding was everything I dreamed it would be. I wish I could say that our wedding wasn't ruined. I wish I could look past the bad. However, my bridesmaids went behind my back and decided to lie to me and embarrass me. I had 4 bridesmaids. 3 of them were good friends of mine, and the other one was my sister, who was the maid of honor. I could have asked other better friends of mine to be my bridesmaids, but unfortunately they were booked and didn't have time to be bridesmaids with their schedules. So they attended as guests. So I picked 3 of my other friends. Looking back, it would have been way better to just have my sister as my bridesmaid, I wish I could go back in time and slap myself. When the wedding planning started, my friends didn't put much effort into helping me, which was the first red flag. However, I kind of just sucked it up and did mostly everything myself. A few months later, I got my bridesmaids together and told them the requirements for the bridesmaid dresses. I told them that they would have to pay for it themselves since me and my husband were pretty much paying for everything else, and that the dresses would have to be long and terracotta, burnt earthy orange. I provided swatches as well so they would have a reference. This was the biggest issue.
Just the swatches?
I just want to point out they need to take a page out of I can't remember the character's name, but the lady from 27 Dresses. She goes to 27 freaking weddings where she's a bridesmaid, and literally there's a montage of her pulling all these ugly dresses that she's never gonna wear again. That's the whole point of that montage, is that she has these terrible dresses, and she does it anyway because she realizes that she's not the bride and she doesn't really have a say in that. She just needs to suck it up and wear these ugly dresses and be there for her friend.
Yeah.
Do that. Other than my sister, who has no issues with the dress. My other bridesmaids were whining about how ugly the color was and how they wanted me to pick something else. My wedding was fall themed, so the dresses, decor, tables, place settings, invitations, florals, suits, etc. were meant to be in the orange-brown color palette. And they chose baby blue!
So there is some stuff about how because they have to pay for the dress, it's like they should have somewhat of a say. But
I still disagree. I think that if you can't afford it, then say that you can't be a bridesmaid.
Sure, exactly. Like,
you get a say on the fit, maybe. You know, I
in that exact same
the
train of
style of dress.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying. I think you get a say on the style of dress.
Yeah, right. Same logic applies though to the wife and groom who are paying for everything else at the wedding.
Yep.
You're not paying for that, so maybe you should listen to this one thing that they want you to do.
Yep. Several times after this, my bridesmaids would text me asking me to change the color of the dress. Their biggest complaint was that the color made them look ugly, which in all honesty, I don't think it did. Plus, I have already planned out the color scheme with virtually everything else, so it wouldn't make any sense to change the color. Finally, later on, they stopped complaining about the color and sent me screenshots of the dresses that they had bought online, which were all in an earthy orange tone. When they did this, I really thought that they had stepped up as friends and wanted to make me happy. I would have never thought that they were sabotaging me because they're all adults, you would think. I asked them if the dresses fit correctly and if they needed any adjustments or hemming, which I was happy to pay for them. But the three of them said the dresses fit fine. I trusted them blindly. The morning of the wedding, my bridesmaids arrived with all of their stuff and started getting ready. Hair and makeup are done, the weather's nice, the wedding jitters are coming in. I felt giddy but happy and excited to finally marry my partner. Then comes time to put on the bridesmaid dresses. My friends reach into their bags and pull out their dresses, which were in the color light blue. I was shocked. I asked them why the dresses were blue, as that wasn't the dress I asked them repeatedly to buy. One of my bridesmaids said that the terracotta was an ugly color and that they thought blue would be better. I asked them, but what about the screenshots that they sent me? Apparently, it was to get me off their back.
And I'm not kidding. They're not staying.
No,
gone.
I would have kicked them out.
No, they're
I would
like,
have kicked them out.
Don't talk to me anymore.
Bye.
Don't text me. You literally staged a coup at my wedding while you're one of what are supposed to be my closest friends.
Yep.
So thanks for letting me know.
Mm-hmm.
Bye forever.
I was in tears at this point and asked them why the heck they would lie to me. One of the other bridesmaids then accused me of trying to make them look bad on purpose so that they wouldn't outshine me. Dude, if you look ugly in a terracotta dress, then you're not going to outshine this girl.
I just think you're not going to outshine. All you are ugly.
Yeah.
I can just
tell you're ugly.
You're rotten on the inside.
If you were truly beautiful, you'd look beautiful in anything. You're ugly on the inside and the outside, and I hate you.
Yeah, snap your fingers.
I cast power word dissolve.
Sorry, I don't hate you. I dislike you strongly.
I'll say it. Cut it out. No, I'm just kidding.
Cut it out. I told them that wasn't true and I was just going for a fall-themed wedding. My sister and I went to a separate room because the conversation was escalating and I was getting more and more upset. My sister had to console me, and my husband consoled me over the phone. After I was able to get ready, we all made it to the venue for the ceremony. The car ride was silent. At this point, I didn't care anymore. I just wanted to get married. The bridesmaids, aside from my sister, stood out like a sore thumb. I'm really hoping that they weren't too much of a distraction to the guests during the wedding, but it's no doubt that they were a distraction, all right. The photos with the entire wedding party in it obviously sucked. My photographer said that she would try and Photoshop the dresses, but still. I really wanted to uninvite them from the reception, but I had already paid for their seats, table settings, and I didn't want that to go to waste. The reception was a lot better, but I had to still deal with the disrespectful attitude from my bridesmaids. They were talking during my sister's speech, my dad's speech. One of them made comments about how blue was definitely her color, to which the others laughed. My sister had to shut them down multiple times. Get them out. Who cares if you already paid for them? Why would you want them there?
They're not even there during my ceremony.
No, bye. Bye. They also continued their accusations about how I was sabotaging the way they looked. I didn't have the strength to argue with them. I just wanted to enjoy my wedding. Since the wedding, I haven't talked to my 3 bridesmaids, and I don't really plan on keeping them as friends anymore. Makes sense. Yes, at the end of the day, the color isn't going to be the biggest deal about your wedding, let alone your marriage, but it's the fact that they lied to me, put their selfish needs in front of my needs, and the fact that they were disrespectful towards me, and something that me and my husband put a lot of thought into. It sucks because the vast majority of the wedding was wonderful, but there is a glaring stain over it that was caused by my so-called friends. And there is a second update by the bride. But yeah, cut these people off. They suck.
And you let them off on easy street,
yeah,
dude. I would have probably orchestrated some sort of really embarrassing, if they insisted on being at the reception, I would have organized some sort of embarrassing call out. Being like, can we have the baby blues stand up, everybody?
The baby blues.
All the baby blues, can we have you stand up? These women thought it'd be a great idea to trick me and buy a dress that was specifically the worst color they could have ever chosen for an earth tone wedding. Can we all give them a round of applause for being so brave?
I probably wouldn't do that because I wouldn't want to give them any more attention.
Dude, I
don't need to go full crazy.
Medieval war.
I'm just kicking them out. That's all.
Halberd.
Update though. Bridesmaid dress fiasco. Hi everyone. I'm with my husband and I'm trying to forget about the whole dress ordeal and just enjoy married life.
My husband and I'm trying to forget.
For some reason, the mods removed my post. Someone said that I should wear a white dress to all 3 of their weddings. It's funny, but I don't plan on attending any of their weddings.
Right.
No.
Why would you?
We shouldn't hang out with them ever again. And like I said before, I'm limiting my contact with them. Many people were saying that I should have just punted the 3 of them out, and had my sister as my bridesmaid, which isn't a bad idea. However, it was all about having an even number of bridesmaids to groomsmen, as there were 4 groomsmen as well. To those asking why my other friends couldn't be a bridesmaid but yet could attend the wedding, in case you don't know, being a bridesmaid involves more than just being there for one day. And no, when I asked my bridesmaids, I didn't see them as lesser friends than my other ones. They are all just close friends of mine from different parts of my life. By the way, you can be close to us throughout your whole life if you listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search Aboki Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story, but do you have any final thoughts?
Probably prioritize peace.
Yes.
Like I said, I wouldn't have even let them stay.
No, I would have kicked them out.
At this ceremony. And although the thing I suggested to do at the reception is funny, in reality, you should probably just quietly have them removed.
Yeah.
Unless you're feeling particularly spicy about it.
Spicy.
I don't know. I'm just tooted up on a Monday right now, and I'm ready to choose the path of no good.
It's true.
But they, you know what? I don't know. They deserve it. They deserve to be embarrassed, humbled, and called out. And, silver lining is they're such miserable people. Imagine having to be that person. Imagine living your life fundamentally from the lens of, I can't let the bride outshine me at her own wedding.
Her own wedding.
What a miserable person to be.
And also just thinking that your friend is trying to make you purposely look bad.
Which means that it's something that you would do.
Yeah.
Because you're a
Which
miserable
you made her
sad
purposely
sack.
look bad.
Sad sack's not the right word. That was not right. I'm trying not to curse, and that came up. I wanted to do the funny, but I can't do that one. Not yet. The world's not ready. World's not ready for that.
But the world is ready for the end of the story. And finally, apparently according to the comments, there is a post out there supposedly posted by one of my bridesmaids detailing this whole ordeal. The comments are saying that my story matches up with their story. I wasn't able to find it yet, but I'll keep looking because, oh my god. No, I'm not deleting any comments like people are suggesting. This is my first time logging back on since I posted, so I don't know what's going on. P.S. If anyone could message me the link, that would be great too. It's a lot easier than looking through hundreds of posts on Reddit about bridesmaid dresses. Small update. I found the post. Yeah,
Ooh.
all of the details line up unless there was another person out there who had 3 of their bridesmaids wear blue instead of terracotta. The ages line up too unless the ages were fake. I don't even know what to say or if I should say anything at all. Based on the age the poster put down, I'm pretty sure I know which one of them posted. Like I said before, I'm limiting my contact with them, which is why I'm not even sure if I should comment on her post or message her. I'm seething right now. The fact she wrote an entire post bragging about what she and the other 2 did is icky. Comments. Comment 1, if they didn't love terracotta, then go with deep red or burgundy. White, light blue. It's so different. Plus, terracotta is a pretty color anyway. The writer should have chosen lime green or neon orange, more realistic and truly horrendous on most people. Reply says, right, like even if they were POC, terracotta looks okay on most skin tones. I have no idea why they went with something that would stick out like a sore thumb at the wedding.
It's 'cause they're bad friends.
Yeah, they're bad friends.
What do you mean?
They're just bad friends. We know why. And that's the end of that story, folks. They're just bad friends. That's the easiest explanation, and it's the right explanation. They just suck.
That's right.
And they wanted attention. They wanted attention.
Now that you know what they are, you just give them as little of your emotional and mental energy as possible.
You agreed.
No need to play the long con and then show up to their wedding and like ruin it or whatever, because that's just really all that is you hanging on to a negative thing in your life.
Yeah.
And having it be propped up.
Indeed.
Don't prop up any negativity in your life.
Stop propping it up.
For some other donkey-brained individual.
My friend didn't make me her bridesmaid. I feel betrayed.
Ooh, betrayed as a maid.
I'm getting married in June. I'm going to have my friend Jim as my dude of honor and my friend Jane as my bridesmaid. Jim and I have been friends since college, but my friendship with Jane is longer and a bit more complicated. By the way, this comes from Wedding Throw 1092, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. We started to be friends in high school where we were friends with 2 other girls. They'll be important later. Typical teenager and 20-something drama happened, and I'm not close with the 2 other girls anymore. One straight up said that she didn't want to be friends with me anymore, and I guess the other friend just followed her lead. I'll admit that Jane and I used to be closer when we were younger, and we drifted apart, but I still considered her a close friend. When I got engaged, I asked Jane to be my bridesmaid. When I got engaged, I asked Jane to be my bridesmaid. When I asked, she was kind of hesitant. She was engaged too and said that we'd probably be planning weddings at the same time, and she was worried that she wouldn't be able to devote a lot of time to my wedding. I told her it was going to be super laid back and she wouldn't have to do too much, and that I wanted her there, so she agreed. Planning the wedding has had its own ups and downs, lots of drama from family, but Jane has been a good enough bridesmaid. My friend Jim has been planning my bachelorette, and they both went to see me get my veil. I think she could stand to be a bit more involved, but considering distance and time, she's doing enough. When Jane first got engaged, she wasn't even sure if she wanted to have a traditional wedding. She was talking about doing something really small and only inviting immediate family and close friends. It turns out that she actually is going to have a ceremony and reception in the fall. I awkwardly found out over dinner after pushing her for wedding details that she was planning on having bridesmaids, and I wasn't one of them. She claimed it was because I live far away. Not really. We live in different cities on the East Coast and are about a train ride away. And she didn't want to bother me because I'd be busy with my wedding and merit. To make matters worse, the 2 girls I had a falling out with are, of course, in the wedding. It hurts so much since I assumed that we'd all be together during our weddings. I'm hurt. Jane and I went through a lot together, and I really wanted her to be a part of my wedding. I'm hurt that she doesn't feel the same way. When I told my mom, she was shocked and said how rude Jane was. My fiance said it was okay to feel hurt and that it was a wiener move, but that Jane also has a right right to have whoever she wants in her wedding party. Am I wrong for feeling like this? Should I confront her? I don't even know if I want her in my wedding anymore. We do have an update, but what are our thoughts so far?
I mean, I think you can, I wouldn't say you're an a-hole for feeling anything, you know?
Yeah.
It's just more like, it's hard. You're not in the same city, and you know, you guys, I think it's just a discussion. You got to communicate. You got to be like, all right, so what's up? Like, she's kind of told you why you're not a bridesmaid, but like maybe dig a little deeper under it. It's hard to say, but like, I would say you're an a-hole.
But we do have an update. So I wanted to update because things have blown up. This is going to be long. I found out about not being in the wedding a little over a week ago, so I had been stewing for a while when I made my last post. I was a little dishonest in the first post because I was already in the process of confronting her when I wrote it. I texted her early in the morning I posted and told her that I was disappointed by her lack of involvement in my wedding. She replied that she was sorry that I felt hurt, but that she had warned me about this when I first asked her. That is true. She also mentioned that she wasn't sure what else I wanted from her. She has done everything I asked, and that it seemed like Jim has everything handled for the Bachelorette and hasn't reached out to her. Then I texted her about Bridesmaids. She didn't text me back all day, so I called her that evening. The conversation really didn't go well. She said that she didn't reply because she was busy at work and honestly didn't know what to say. She said that she chose the people closest to her. She has also known the two friends I had falling out with since childhood, and her other two are her college roommate and her other friend from work she lived with in the past. She said that even when wedding details were murky, she knew that she'd ask them. I told her that I had always envisioned all of us planning our weddings together, and being left out of it was all pretty painful. Her reply hurt. She said that she was sorry that I was no longer friends with the two bridesmaids in her party. She truly wishes me no ill will from the past, but that they have their own valid reasons for ending our friendship. Then she said that she was honestly surprised that I asked her to be a part of my wedding, and that she wouldn't have been surprised if she didn't even get an invite. I spoke to my therapist the next day about it. She pretty much echoed what people said here, and I was putting way too much pressure on Jane and was inappropriately using her wedding as a friend reunion. Oh, and my fiance and I got into a huge fight about the wedding. I texted Jane after, and she was nice and listened to me rant, but it felt awkward. On top of it all, I got to see her post a lovely Instagram story about shopping for her wedding dress with all of her bridesmaids and getting drinks after.
So the read I'm getting off of this is you're just kind of upset that your friend's wedding is happening. I don't know.
Yeah, I think maybe this friendship breakup thing was maybe recent, and maybe OP's not over it and not accepting of it just yet. And yeah, she probably was hoping like maybe things will get better once they like hang out with me again, because she was the one like that was dropped. Everyone said that they didn't want to be friends with her. So she probably is feeling a little abandoned there. I am so over weddings. I wish I was eloping. I'm a little jealous that Jane seems to be having an awesome time planning hers. Making friends in your 30s is tough, but I thought I had a few close ones I could rely on. But I guess I was wrong. So thanks, Reddit. You tried to warn me, but I was already set on being the a-hole when I posted. My advice to people upset about bridesmaids and groomsmen: don't question their choices and accept whatever role that they want you to play in their wedding. And OP answered some questions on why they fell out with the two bridesmaids. Honestly, it was a bunch of dumb teenage and 20-something drama. Essentially, I moved to a city around the same time one of my friends was living there. I got involved in her friend group, and some guy she liked ended up liking me more. We dated, but he was clingy and got weird when I broke up with him. And after that, the group kind of imploded and everyone blamed me. After my one friend said that she no longer wanted to be in her life, the other one followed. I was supposed to grab dinner with her one day, and she delayed because she was hanging out with the one that hates me. I told her to forget it all and that she didn't have to see me if she didn't want to. I'll admit I was a bit dramatic in the past, but I've grown up a lot, and I had hoped that we could kind of forgive and forget. We all used to be so close, and I miss their friendship. But we do have another update. I picked someone who thought I was a close friend to be my bridesmaid. She's done what she's been asked to do, but hasn't gone above and beyond to do anything extra. She's also getting married later this year. I'm invited, but I'm not a bridesmaid. To make matters worse, two people I had a falling out with are in her wedding. We were all friends in high school. We're all in very early 30s now. And it hurts that they're all still friends and I'm being excluded. I had a big session with my therapist yesterday, and I realized that I had kind of strong-armed her into doing this. She tried to say no, that she would be too busy on her own wedding to give me the time and attention I needed, but I convinced her that it would be fine and that I wanted her to be a big part of my day. I think that she's an effing adult and could have said no, but what do I know? I'll admit, I thought we were closer than we actually are in real life.
I'm sorry. You literally
Yeah.
just went from my therapist told me, helped me understand that I actually strong-armed this person.
Yeah.
And then in the next breath being like, well, she's an effing adult. She could say no. It's like, well, yeah, but you kind of strong-armed her
Yeah.
and harangued her into saying yes.
Yeah, I think that's a difficult situation because, like, sure, she is an adult and she could say no, even, like, no matter how pushy you are. But sometimes if people are pushy enough, you don't want to be rude because it's your wedding.
There's the reality of politic in like any given social situation. And it's like, all this tells me is this keeps reading. It's like OP is like, how did all of this happen to me? Like, meanwhile, a lot of the things are direct results of OP's actions.
Yeah. I'll admit I thought we were closer than we actually are in real life. We were really close in high school, but drifted apart after college. I still considered her a close friend, even though we didn't talk much. I just feel like now she is this whole life without me with all of these friends, and I'm left in the dust. Even seeing her bridal party makes me jealous. I feel like I didn't know who to ask, and she has 4 best friends that are bending over backwards for her. My friend posted this super cute Instagram story about her shopping with her friends for her dress and celebrating after. I got so upset, I cried and threw my phone across the room. I'm angry as heck at her and want to punt her out of the bridal party. I feel betrayed and used, but I don't know who else I would ask. I don't have a lot of friends, and my maid of honor is my guy friend from college. Why are bridesmaids even a thing? The whole idea is designed to make drama and hurt everyone's feelings. On top of it all, planning the wedding has been a nightmare. My parents, who are divorced, are using it as an excuse to try to outdo each other. My fiance's family is dysfunctional and don't like me much. His mom is a control freak and planned everyone else's wedding, and she's trying to do the same for mine. We keep arguing about the wedding and had a huge blow up about it yesterday. We're pouring so much money into this wedding and I can't wait for it to be over. Can someone make me feel better? Post about their wedding drama and how everything worked out in the end? I'm at the end of my rope. My wedding is in less than 2 months and I'm not excited about it at all. And we have yet another update.
Let's freaking go.
But how do we make her feel better? I don't know.
You need to adjust your expectations.
Yeah.
And, you know, I suggest this to every single person who gets married. Have a secret wedding first and then have your big wedding that's expensive.
Yeah.
So if it all starts going wrong, you don't have to worry about your marriage being ruined because you already had a beautiful wedding, just the 2 of you.
Yeah, when she said something about wishing that she could elope, I immediately thought about that you would say secret wedding.
That is something I would say.
But we have another update. Hey all, I don't know if anyone remembers my Reddit meltdown from a month ago, but I've been getting some nice messages in my inbox asking me for an update. The truth is that not a lot has changed, and I'm still kind of miserable about the wedding. Things with my bridesmaids are awkward to say the least. I'm kind of embarrassed about how everything went down, and now I feel like she's kind of keeping me at a distance. She has her dress and has been good with updating me on her outfit and day of stuff, and texts to chat about how planning is going, but she's been tight-lipped about her wedding. If I ask her anything, she just says it's going good and leaves it at that. To make things worse, she's in full bride mode with her friends, and I keep seeing Instagram stories pop up with cute planning details. It's hard to not feel extremely jealous, left out, and angry when I see her making bouquets with her friends and chatting about taco bars for the reception. I don't want to say that fight ruined our friendship because it's clear that we just aren't that close anymore, but I really wish that I had just kept my mouth shut. My fiance's extended family is driving me nuts. They're asking about bringing +1s when we're almost a month out from the wedding. I'm so pissed because I think it's rude to even ask, and that if it really was that important, they should have brought it up to me when they first learned about the wedding. My fiance also doesn't like to talk to me about the wedding anymore. He says that whenever I bring something up, we end up fighting, so he'd rather just stop talking about it, period. I know his family is pissing him off too, but he refuses to confront them in any way. He just says that this is the way that they are and that I need to learn how to deal with. So here I am, about a month out from my wedding with pretty much zero enthusiasm for it. Things are awkward with my bridesmaid, my new family is pissing me off, and my fiance has pretty much shut down and refuses to deal with anything. I guess I updated because I just wanted a place to rant. Does anyone have any advice on how to not make my friend's wedding hurt me so much? Any stories about my weddings that weren't the magical days that they thought they were? Tips for dealing with fiancés that refuse to deal with their insane families? But we have yet another update on this. Some of you may remember me from a thread that I posted here a while back about being upset over not being a bridesmaid. My wedding has come and gone. Beautiful day despite some drama and hiccups. But my friend's is coming up and I have a new problem. Oh joy. The two women I'm no longer friends with are obviously planning her bridal shower and I'm invited. Interesting. When I saw my old friend's name on the invite, she's handling RSVPs, I panic a little bit. I called my friend and bridesmaid to make sure that it was okay for me to come. She said, of course, and that she didn't anticipate any drama.
So this is again, it's like OP's like, this was all high school, like early 20s drama. Now they're in their early 30s.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, OP's calling and saying, is it okay if I come? That is high school, early 20s activities.
Yeah.
Just go.
Yeah.
Don't phone call and be like, is there a problem?
Is there going to be drama? Yeah. It's like, well, now there is. If you're going to go about it this way, then
you're setting the stage for it. Just be an adult and go.
Exactly. She claimed that the two friends really had no ill will about what happened and that the day should be fun. There will be a lot of other people there to hang out with and it should be a good time. I asked if she thought that I should reach out to clear the air beforehand. She said it wasn't necessary. I asked her if she thought that it was a bad idea. She just repeated that it wasn't needed. I was feeling really anxious about it, so I decided to text both of the friends.
Oh my God.
OP! She just said you didn't need to do that.
OP, what are you doing?
My guy.
You're like, I don't want it to be dramatic. And then meanwhile, you do the most dramatic thing you could do.
Yeah.
You're just making it weird when it doesn't need to be.
I said that I was married now and was excited to reconnect and that I hoped that we could put all of our differences aside and be together for the bride and celebrate her. They responded with general, glad you can come, can't wait to celebrate the bride, and I was a little hurt.
God dang it, OP. Stop it.
I had hoped for something that was more reassuring that the day would be okay and that there would be no weirdness. When I told my husband how I felt, he was shocked that I even texted them. He claimed it felt like that message was actually trying to stir up drama.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I don't think what I said was inappropriate or rude. I don't want my friend's day to be ruined because of some petty drama, and I don't want to feel uncomfortable during this.
Girl, it wasn't inappropriate or rude. It was just weird. That's all it was. It was weird. And it's not that you're trying to make it an issue again. It's that you've brought all that back up to the surface again.
And what I'm realizing too is if she's saying it's high school, early 20s drama, then it definitely didn't happen recently if they're in their early 30s.
Right.
This happened a while ago. So if so much time has passed, you should not be like, from what I'm assuming.
She could be saying that. She could also be saying like the nature of it was very high school, early
maybe
20s. But it's like,
you are also in control of that.
Yeah, honestly. So not to put you on blast, but you are making a lot of poor decisions right now.
Yeah.
In terms of just making things chill.
Yeah. It's been hard enough seeing my friends post about all of the wedding fun that she's having. I just didn't want to walk into a bad situation. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for sending those texts? And do we have an answer for that?
Kinda. I mean, you're not even a-hole. You're just goofy.
You're just a silly goose. You're being an a-hole to yourself, I feel. Not being an a-hole to them at all, because it's not really anything bad. But
yeah, it's like it comes from this place of like, you're being an a-hole to yourself because you expect these things to happen where it's like you sent this thing where clearly I guess they don't really care anymore. Maybe they might not care anymore. And you're worried that they're like, harboring all this stuff. So you bring it up and it's like, they don't care. And you expected them to be like, oh my God, thank you for reaching out. It's so great that you said that. And it's like, we're moving on and we love you. And it's like, they're, your expectations will set you up for disappointment.
Exactly. Like, even if they do care a little bit, I think they just still decided that they don't want to be friends. They're fine with that. You need to be too, because
I don't know.
Out of your control.
They invited you to the shower.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. But you know what would be huge of you to do is to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime, and you can find full episodes with more stories just like this one. There is a little bit more. I'm just going to jump right into it. There's a relevant comment from OP. Okay. My husband thought it was over the top. He said that the tone I took made it seem like they somehow weren't there to celebrate the bride when they're her bridesmaids, and that I was making the event about myself. TBH, my friend and bridesmaid has become a bit of a sore spot for the two of us. He's glad that she was a good bridesmaid and helped out a lot of the day of, but he thinks that I'm trying too hard to be best friends. It's not like I don't have other friends. I just really miss the way things were in high school and feel like I'm missing out on having deep and meaningful friendships with a history. There are some comments. Commenter number 1 says, I feel like there's a lot more to the story of why she's no longer part of her old friend group. And honestly, she sounds exhausting. I feel a bit bad for her though, as she's obviously lonely. And someone else responds, she says she used to be dramatic, but it is clear that she is still dramatic and over the top AF. Another person responds, I thought she was super young reading this, but she's in her 30s wishing for high school friendships. Another commenter says her line, she's an adult, so she could have said no to me about the wedding if she didn't want to be a part of it. Makes me wonder if she had said something like, he's his own person and can make his own choices about who he has feelings for, after flirting with a guy that her friend had a big crush on. Someone responds to that. In the same paragraph, she mentions the friend was having a soft no the whole time and OP would not take no for an answer. So she admits that she did strong arm her, but in the next sentence puts blame on her bridesmaid again. She literally cannot hold herself accountable for her part in the situation. OP doesn't really know how to take personal responsibility for anything, in my opinion. This whole saga reeks of playing the victim in that, and I'm positive there is important information that would have better illustrated that left out. Someone else comments, Jesus, the OP sounds so ridiculously exhausting. Someone responds to that, after the second update, I was thinking, girl, take the hit and cut your losses already, but it wasn't even a hint at that point. Secondhand pity was off the charts. Another commenter says this is so infuriating to read because OP gets so close to acknowledging that her behavior is the problem and then just goes and keeps doing it anyway, and then proceeds to ask the internet why everyone is fed up with her. That's a great way to summarize that. But
Truly.
that is the end of that story.
That is the end of
Oh
that
my
story.
gosh.
Sometimes you got to cut your losses.
You really do. If she's in her 30s and wants it to be like it was in high school. Listen, I don't know. I don't want to blame you, I guess, for wanting things to be how they were, but that's a long time. That's a long time to be, hoping for the past. So I'm sorry you feel like you need to be that far in the past to feel okay right now,
it's
but
less about being in the past and more it's like having these friendships and connections that have lasted so long.
Well,
A lot of people want that.
So that's what I'm thinking. It's like, I don't blame you for wanting that strong connection that you had in the past, but this specific one is in the past. You got to leave it there.
My friend's mother-in-law insulted her bridesmaid, so I called her out in front of everyone.
That's a good friend.
I, 31 female, married my amazing hubby, 31 male, in 2023. At the same time, our best friends also got engaged, and we are all due to be married within 3 months of each other. We were all in each other's wedding parties, as I was best friends with both the bride and groom. I was standing in both sides as I was asked to make a speech, which I was happy to do. What a good friend. You're just like, everyone loves you.
Everyone's great.
By the way, this comes from user Luck166 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, our friends were due to get married before us, so we had a lot on with planning our wedding and helping our friends with theirs. We were so lucky our families were super supportive of our marriage. Everyone gets along really well, and considering we come from separate religions, we made a beautiful effort to incorporate both cultures in our big day. Our friends, however, were going through hell with the groom's mother.
Of course.
Not everything's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, it wasn't your wedding.
Yeah, at least it wasn't your wedding. That's the upside.
My friend had said her future mother-in-law started acting different with her from the second the ring was on her finger. Prior to that, they got on very well. There was a huge bust-up when going out looking for venues, which ended with my friend getting out of the car and saying the wedding was off, but then her future hubby called his mother out for being a Karen and all was resolved. Mom's a Karen.
Okay, so we're fine. Everything's fine.
Nope.
All
not
was
everything
resolved.
is nothing is resolved. Everything is not fine. She made an epic scene at their menu tasting because one of the groom's brother's girlfriends was celiac and couldn't eat any of the food chosen. The poor caterers were constantly reassuring her that gluten-free options will be provided for the girlfriend. FYI, the girlfriend in question had no idea all this fuss was being made and was already aware that she would be looked after. So the mom was just like,
She's celiac. How could you do this to her?
"You're gonna kill her!" No. When the groom was preparing for his stag weekend,
It's like a British thing. It's like a bachelor party.
What's the woman's thing? It's
Hen night.
It's hen and stag. Interesting terms. Interesting. When the groom was preparing for his stag weekend, a way his mother arranged for his grandfather's memorial service was going to be the day after, meaning that the poor hungover groom had to get up at 8 a.m. in the morning after his stag to be home in time to attend the service. And
Oh my
yes,
God.
of course, he was incredibly hungover.
That makes sense.
At this point, we thought the worst was over. But wait, there's more. Until there was another drama over the mother-in-law's dress. She had purchased a green sequence dress, and the bride's mother, who is the funniest, most petty person I've ever met, posted a picture on Facebook of a dress that was being given away. It was a really ugly punk sequence dress, and in a comment, she said, "Oh no, I'd never be seen dead in this."
Damn, just calling her out.
Whilst a lot of people saw this as a funny comment about an ugly dress, the groom's mom abandoned her dress idea and decided to wear something else.
So everyone was like, that dress is hideous, but we don't know how to tell the groom's mom that she shouldn't wear the dress. And was just like, we're going to subtly make her think it's her idea to not wear it.
Blast that on Facebook.
Yeah.
The day of the wedding, as a wedding coordinator myself, I decided to make sure everything was running smoothly so the bride could focus on being pampered because she always looks out for other people. I felt it was her turn to enjoy her day. When the flowers arrived, we realized that mother-in-law's corsage didn't arrive. The mother of the bride, knowing how psycho groom's mom is, volunteered to go without. But we asked the florist to head back to their shop and get the missing corsage, which they were happy to do, and thankfully it arrived just in time for her arrival at the venue. When mother-in-law arrived, I had just finished having my hair and makeup done, and I greeted the mother-in-law. She insisted on going into the bridal suite to hide so people wouldn't see her in her dress. I looked at her very confused, as the dress she was wearing was the same dress she wore to another one of her son's weddings a few years prior. She stood outside the door and waited while I checked on the bride and was fine as she was still in her robe and not getting into her dress. Mother-in-law came into the room and basically ignored the bride and was mouthing off to the makeup artist who was doing the bride's makeup. Once the bride was ready to get into her dress, most of us decided to leave it to her and the maid of honor so she had a bit of privacy. I was in the bathroom being tied into my dress by another bridesmaid who is transgender. Her gender wasn't important, but it links to the drama. When we came out of the bathroom, mother-in-law was hysterically banging on the door, begging to be let in. The makeup artist approached the door and said she's in a state of undress. Please give her some privacy. She then proceeded to scream, "I don't care, let me in. And why does he get to be in there?" Oh.
Freaking transphobe.
Oh,
Get out of the
no.
wedding. She freaking sucks.
Oh,
she makes
no.
everything a problem, and now she sucks even more.
She's like King Midas, but like King Grossness. everything
like
she
everything
touches
she touches
turns into gross. Or like,
yeah, no, I would be like, literally get out. If I were the bride, I'd be like, how dare you? Get out.
yeah, this is my day.
This is my day.
I'm already anxious and stressed out enough, and you just times it by 100.
And now you're attacking my friends and disrespecting them. Out.
Those of us in earshot were horrified. She had no right to comment on this girl's gender, and one of the other bridesmaids snapped and told her off.
Good.
Mother-in-law stormed off, backed by a friend, and went to the office of the venue and claimed she was going home.
Good. Bye.
I decided to try and get this situation under control before I got back to the bride and groom, who, at the time, were blissfully unaware. Thank God. Unfortunately, for me, the conversation had not gone well, and she stormed out of the office, accusing me and the other bridesmaids of bullying her. Her friend told me I was a disgrace for standing up to this other bridesmaid, and when I asked her who she was, all heck broke loose. The groom and his groomsmen, including my husband and his dad, were all standing outside the door.
Okay, so all the groom sides like
They
heard
all heard
all of
this.
this. Yeah.
They all heard this drama.
Mm-hmm.
I strolled out very casually.
Oh, he's like strutting out,
You're like,
wearing sunglasses.
just like, no sweat, just like, okay. I strolled out very casually and explained to the groom his mom was having a tantrum, and he just shrugged his shoulders, as if to say, no surprise there. Then when the mother of the bride came out to try and calm her down, one of the groom's brothers threatened to punch her in the face.
Oh my God. Groom, tell them to stop.
It's like going from 0 to 1,000,
Yeah.
like every other minute. It's like, this is good. Okay,
the
it's
groom is
resolved.
like, yeah, of course she is. And then the brother is like, I'm going to punch her.
It's just like a roller coaster of emotions. Yeah. Eventually, she calmed down, and an hour later than planned, everything went ahead. The ceremony was beautiful. My friends were beautiful. We smiled. We cried. It was a beautiful day. The groom asked me to apologize to his mom just to settle her down, and out of respect for my friend, I obliged, and it was caught on film. We got proof.
You got proof.
The videographers who saw everything unfold thought I might want to cherish this memory. Sarcastically, duh. But you know what I want to cherish, Sophia?
You guys.
I want to cherish you guys tuning in every weekday at 3 p.m. PST by just click on our profile.
Tap it.
There's a little bit more to this story, Sophia, but let's discuss.
I don't think you did anything wrong. You were trying to handle a situation that was getting out of control where other bridesmaids were put in the crossfire of this crazy lady.
Good on you trying to like make things as
easy for the bride.
like no stress, no tense situations as possible, even though there is so much going on.
And also good on you for just apologize. Like, you were not in the wrong at all, but you apologized to the mother-in-law just so she
Everything
would stop.
Good on you trying to like, you know what?
Yeah.
This is their day. Let's make it the best day possible.
Yeah. That's really
And you're screaming on the inside. It's so loud. You're like,
You suck!
This sucks. Back to the story. After the meal, it was my turn to speak. Admittedly, I am not the best public speaker, but I had a great speech prepared. In my speech, I said how my friend and I would watch videos about bridezillas, matrons of dishonor, and mother-in-laws from HE double hockey sticks to ensure our families and friends weren't exhibiting any of those traits.
Was this the planned speech that you had already had?
You are literally glaring at like the mother-in-law.
Like, yeah, we had looked up all of those traits about horrible mother-in-laws.
cough, like calling out her name.
Yeah.
I thought it was a sweet story about how my friend and I prepared to be brides. Mother-in-law, however, thought it was a dig.
Good. Take it as a dig.
It was a dig. Come on. The fact that she thought it was a dig is like you understand that that that's you.
Yeah.
And apparently a lot of wedding guests did too and found it very funny.
Nice.
I was told by the groom his mother was fuming, and well done.
I like this groom.
Yeah. Other wedding guests approached me and laughed, saying how funny that comment was. And I said it wasn't actually directed at her. They all said, well, if the cap fits.
It's true.
After the wedding, she blocked me on all social media platforms, and I haven't spoken to her since.
I mean, you're not related to her in any way, so it's fine.
Yeah. My friend also no longer speaks to her unless she has to. Safe to say, it was a loss to me.
And that's the freaking end.
That's the freaking end. That's crazy.
Positive. I think you got the upper hand. You won that battle, and you helped your friend out at her wedding.
Yeah, I feel like both the groom and the bride have to give you like kudos. They're like,
I think so.
You made our wedding as best as it could be. Shout out to everyone who like
shout out
to everyone who were like, yo, that story,
nice, fire,
high five. We know what you were doing there.
Yeah.
You're like,
it wasn't, no, what? That's not what I meant. And they're like, yeah, that's not what you meant. But that's the end of that story. So
my friend berated me at her wedding over a small mistake, so I ended our friendship.
One small mistake. Friendship over.
Hi all. So my friend just had her wedding this past weekend. I was the maid of honor, although not the original maid of honor due to drama with the bride and her best friend a few months ago.
Ooh.
And she only had one other bridesmaid due to some drama that unfurled over the year leading up to the wedding. By the way, this comes from Love Prairie Dog, and if you want to submit your own stories, just go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. I've tried my best for the past multiple months to step up, be there for the bride, be a good friend, and take whatever stress I can off her shoulders. I've bought her and the groom numerous things and a nice present, as well as treated them to coffee and meals, as I know they've been inundated with wedding bills. I've taken off work and missed prior engagements to be there for her and truly step up as maid of honor. All of this I was happy to do. Day of the wedding, I tried my hardest to do everything and finish last-minute DIY crafts that hadn't been finished. I made numerous trips to and from the venue in full hair and makeup to finish things and make sure that the bride was as relaxed as she could be on her wedding day. What a good person you are.
Yeah.
I
don't think she's going to be happy about anything, though.
I agree. I was happy to do all of this as she's my friend, and although I haven't had my own wedding, I can only imagine the kind of stress she was under. However, it was difficult considering it was only me and one other bridesmaid carrying on all the duties. Fast forward to the ceremony. She tells me beforehand that if the groom turns around before she's ready, she will leave the ceremony and we'll have to do it all over again. So I felt an intense stress as I didn't want to mess things up and have a whole scene happen because I told him to turn around too early. I walk down the aisle and in my nerves, I stand too far to the side so I cannot see the bride. I am rather short. Admittedly, I messed up. I should have moved closer to the groom so that I could see the bride. I was nervous and honestly didn't think about where I ended up standing. I moved closer to the groom a little too late to see the bride make a small gesture with her fingers, signaling to me that she wanted him to turn around. At this point, I told him to turn around. I apologized to the groom after the ceremony for the wait and confusion, as he had been looking at me and I was delaying in giving the motion. However, he said it was okay, so we continued to have a great night. I thought that given everything else went wonderfully, I was just being overly anxious about my mistake and that in the grand scheme of things, it didn't matter too much. For the record, I'm still beating myself up about it. Don't. Literally don't. Don't. Oh my gosh.
Literally do not. A real
Do
friend
not.
wouldn't beat you up about that.
Exactly. I'm upset that when I made a mistake that day, it was that moment. Fast forward to the morning after the ceremony. The bride, in front of the groom and another member of the party, chewed me out, shouting that I ruined the moment and that it was really effing crappy. She said that it was her wedding day, as if I didn't already know that, and that I really messed up because everyone saw her make the gesture. She proceeded to shout even after I was crying and profusely apologizing. She excused her behavior, saying, "I don't even care that you're crying because it was my moment." Honestly, it was kind of scary. No one else intervened, and she
What?
hasn't
Come
apologized
on.
since.
Come on. No one else did anything.
Come on. She's not even replying to my texts. I know that she's getting ready for her honeymoon, so I won't be reaching out to give her time to relax with her husband. However, I'm genuinely hurt by how she approached me about it. Since she was hurt about my mistake, I absolutely would want her to let me know. I know I messed up. I'm just hurt by how she communicated her frustration. I had tried my hardest to do everything perfectly, to be there for her and wait on her hand and foot. I am not sure what more I could have done. Anyway, apologies for the long post. I just wanted to ask if her reaction was totally warranted given my mistake or if it was kind of too much. Please be honest. I want to be able to find peace with the situation. Thanks. And there is more to this story, but what's our answer for her?
More than kinda.
More
You're not
than
the
kinda.
a-hole.
No.
She's a psycho.
It was a tiny little mistake, but all it deserves is like a my bad.
Yeah.
You don't need to be crying.
No.
You don't need to be profusely apologizing.
No.
Not at all. At a certain point, the person who like you think you made a mistake for, they can be in the wrong too.
And also, honestly, I don't even think she should have, like, the bride should have brought that up at all. Like, I don't
Yeah.
even think her being like, oh, hey, like, you made that. That would have been weird too.
Yeah, people probably didn't even notice or think about it.
Yeah.
And then now they know about it because the bride's like yelling about it.
Yeah.
Like,
In front of everyone. Like, that's so much more embarrassing.
Edit. Forgot to mention, but she told me that I should have approached her immediately after the ceremony to apologize. She said that it was rude that I didn't do so. I told her that she was taking photos and was just married, so I didn't think it was a good time. She still said that this was another mistake on my part. Edit number 2. Hi all. Thank you for your honest and encouraging words. I've decided that she no longer deserves my friendship, and under no circumstances should I ever accept that treatment again. Yes, good. That's right. I'm done apologizing and have no desire to reach out to her. Looks like she doesn't have any friends left. I wish I felt bad, but I honestly don't. On to better friends and brighter skies. And there are some comments.
True.
Comment number 1 says, I'm not trying to sound harsh here, but you really, really need to grow a spine and realize that she isn't your friend. You have no reason to apologize. Don't even think about it. You let her walk all over you. You really need therapy to get some self-esteem and need to learn to stand up for yourself. You did everything right and gave so much to a crappy person. Drop her completely, and now you know why others bailed on her prior to you. OP responds, I am in therapy. As I've said in other comments, I'm already dropping her as a friend. This weekend was the first time I felt maltreated by her, and I plan on making it the last time. I appreciate your response, but I assure you that I do have self-esteem. I was just blinded by trying to make this wedding as good as it could be for her. I'm a romantic and a giver, but I don't think that means I have low self-esteem. Am I naive, maybe dumb and overly anxious, especially when it comes to not recognizing red flags with former bridesmaids? Heck yes. But I assure you, I'm confident in myself and what I deserve. That's why I'm ending the friendship. Go you.
Go
You
you.
go, girl.
You freaking go, girl.
You go, girl.
Because you're killing it. And I like it.
Comment number 2 says, I think you should accept that you were never going to make the bride happy. No one could. After all you did for her, her only response was to find a tiny moment to be angry about and blame you for. The ingratitude is stunning. I commend you for doing the best you could for that person because you are kind and well-meaning, and the world needs more people like you. Sadly, now you know that some people cannot be pleased no matter what you do, and knowing that is important. You'll recognize the impossible to please sooner, And now save yourself a lot of headache in the future. Don't text or call her. Let her become the ex-friend she was always going to become. Ask her other bridesmaids. And there is an update.
Man.
So OP says, I received a lot of support and thank you for all of that. It's nice to know that there are kind people out there, especially when anonymous on the internet. After reading all the responses and speaking with my therapist, I thought it would be best to send the Bridezilla a text. I'm big on closure, and although I was anticipating a nasty response, I knew for my own well-being I needed to air out my feelings. I waited until she was back from her honeymoon and numerous days so that she and her husband could decompress. Then I sent a text, which we will see soon. She quickly replied, and as anticipated, was nasty. She lied numerous times. She did ask me to be a maid of honor, and I did apologize numerous times. I did not belittle her in front of her mother-in-law. All I did was offer some help to take stuff to the storage locker. I also was not pissy, nor did I sigh at all that day. I have highlighted the super egregious bits if you don't want to read all of it. I responded with the message, ending the friendship and a subsequent block on everything. Other than providing an update, I just wanted to ask for advice. For those who have lost friends due to them being bridezillas, how have you moved forward? How do you find peace? Thank you again, folks. And we have the receipts of the text conversation.
That's what I like to hear.
So, my text. Hey, bride's name. I waited to reach out till y'all got back from your honeymoon and had time to decompress. I've been thinking a lot about your wedding weekend. Leading up to your wedding and during that weekend, I've truly stepped up as your friend. I've been there when no one else was. I went out of my way to show up for you and prove to you that you're not alone. Over your wedding weekend, despite my PT's request to relax and desperately needing to prepare for a job interview, I focused solely on you. I made trips to and from the reception, was the bad guy to the wedding planner. I waited on you hand and foot, bringing you water, food, and even scraping lipstick off of your teeth. I was tasked with things that aren't even the maid of honor's responsibility. I was under an immense amount of pressure from you to make the day perfect. I tried my best, and my best was pretty freaking amazing. The morning after your wedding, a major line was crossed. There's a huge difference between being blunt and being rude and disrespectful. Your outburst towards me was the latter. Not only did you berate me, but you did so in front of your husband and groomsmen. Even after I was sobbing and apologizing for something I shouldn't have had to apologize for, you were relentless. If you were upset about something, I would of course want you to bring it to my attention, but in a respectful way. Under no circumstances, not even on your wedding day or the morning after, is it appropriate for you to speak to me like that. However you may justify it, I did not deserve that treatment. What I do deserve is a huge apology and an even bigger promise that you won't treat me like that again. If you choose to not reply or reply with anything but an apology, I'll assume you're content with this friendship ending. I meant everything I said in my maid of honor speech. You are my best friend and I love you. However, I will not allow myself to be belittled and maltreated. And the Bridezilla responded. Yeah, that's a really good text. Very mature.
Yeah, it's like
text. Yeah.
Point.
It's firm.
And don't talk to me ever again.
Bridezilla responds, you really can't deal with any criticism. Wow. Okay. I mean, I always knew that, but wow. I'm sorry for blowing up at you the day after. I wanted to handle it differently for sure, but you totally talking down to me and doing against me in front of my mother-in-law was not okay at all and not needed. It was not your place. Everything you did was maid of honor jobs. Maybe when you're the maid of honor for your sister or a bride, you'll see that. It was my day and I could have been rude, but I really tried to be as chill as possible. You were noticeably stressed the night before about the cards, and I was super chill about finishing them the next day. I asked you to do so much because, like I mentioned, I only have 2 bridesmaids, my brother and groomsmen. And bridesmaid number 2's grandpa passed away that morning, so I didn't want to put too much on her. If you thought it was too much and we'd never speak again for that, then on your day, you will see and regret it. I shouldn't have blown up in front of my husband, sure, but I couldn't hold it in anymore, and I'm not going to dance around and say you ruining my effing wedding ceremony was fine and care more about your feelings than my own day.
Girl, you ruined your own day.
Dude.
Your blowing up ruined your own day.
Yeah.
No one else ruined your day.
Exactly.
You ruined it.
Exactly. Like, what do you even see as it being ruined? Is it the crying that you caused, or is it the little motion that you had to do to make him turn around.
Yeah, which one was actually bigger?
Yeah, come on.
This is like if you're in the play and there's some sort of like, I don't know, prop thing that's missing or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you just start sobbing on stage.
Yeah, and the audience is like, I didn't even know that was supposed to be there.
What just happened?
Come on, man. But the text continues. I tried to be as kind as possible. It's not my fault you can dish it out but can't take it. I always feel like I'm walking on eggshells around you. I appreciate everything you did. I know it's not coming through text, but it didn't seem like offering to meet in person was an option from your tone, so I'll try it here. You made the day for sure. You helped so much, and I thought I said thank you, but it's being a bridesmaid. You don't get a trophy.
Oh my god. Oh my god, you
That's
ungrateful
crazy.
wench.
That's crazy.
I hate you.
Oh my god. I really appreciate you and would do it for you 1,000 times over without any pat on the back. I don't know how you want me to say thank you more. I never expected to need to grovel and worship the ground you walked on for being my bridesmaid. And don't you effing dare throw the relaxation and interview in my face when you never told me. I don't feel guilty. You should be an adult about that. You can communicate your feelings and stress level. I could tell you were pissed and anxious the morning of with all your sighing. So when you were sitting in the living room waiting for hair or whatever, you barely had to lift a finger and bridesmaid number 2 was running around. If you needed a minute, you're capable. You could have told me. I crossed the line by yelling, sure. I yelled once and held my tongue. I may not have said nice things, but I didn't berate you. So chill.
Girl, she was crying and you kept yelling at her.
Dude. Yeah, and I crossed the line by yelling,
Yeah,
sure.
I crossed a line, sure. Yeah.
Yes, leave it at that.
Yeah, you
And let's
crossed
address
a
it.
line.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. You just can't handle anything. Oh my god. I should have done a lot worse for you, ruining my ceremony. I'm over it. You can't take responsibility and weren't even going to apologize or address it at all. You still haven't apologized in that text. No one ever said you didn't do a good job. In fact, instead of feeling better or getting an apology myself, the whole thing at the house was me consoling you and letting my feelings go to the wayside. Time to go cut you out of the wedding mix. Also, you weren't maid of honor. I never asked you, you just assumed. Not because I didn't want you or wouldn't have picked you after I just truly didn't want the title to anyone after all the BS, and you just didn't care and decided. You are a great friend and person, and I have love for you, but I need you to grow up. By the way, we have love for you whenever you are a great person and you check out more episodes with stories just like this one on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. We got you.
Do
We're there.
it.
Before we go into that,
Yeah.
that's just so insane. I really do hate the like excuse for something bad or like
Yeah.
not even an apology, but of just saying like, well, it could have been worse.
Could have been worse. I could have unalived you.
Yeah. It could have been worse. So you
Could've
should
been
be
worse.
grateful
You're
for
welcome.
what I didn't do.
Yeah.
It's like that's crap.
You're crazy.
Crappy. But OP responded again. I'm a great friend, and me walking away from this friendship now is me growing up. I deserve a better friend and don't deserve to be talked to the way you talked to me and have just texted me. When I get married, I'll be at peace knowing that I'm not the type of person to belittle my friends, even under stress. Maybe one day you will realize that you single-handedly destroyed this friendship. Maybe not, and that's okay. Genuinely wishing you and your husband all the best. And that is the end of that story.
And that's what we like to freaking see.
That really is. Oh my gosh.
That's what we like to freaking see.
What a headache. Yeah, with people like that, it's like, why even bother sending the text? Like, at a
Literally.
certain point, you just have to, like, stop responding and
Yeah.
just be like, let them just, like,
No, if I got that text, I just wouldn't respond.
oh, yeah.
Like the
absolutely.
first
It's
bridesmaid,
like,
I would be like, okay.
yeah.
whatever.
Because I've honestly been in conversations like that where it's like, okay, yes, I made a mistake and I'm admitting to that, but it's like, you don't need to, like, respond like that. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
I find it really silly when people like go like just like text and text and I'm like,
Yeah. It's
one like I just think like just berating someone over text is already
yeah. It's so
lot.
silly goose.
it's so silly goose.
Because-
I'm like, if you're actually mad at someone, go talk to them in person.
Yeah, and with someone that like texts like that too, it's like
Yeah.
if they're mad about one thing and then they start bringing up all these other things. It's like you just can't respond to that because
Yeah,
then
it's
it's
like,
like
it's
then
too
you have
long.
to like
Point by point.
and it's
And then you're
it's
trying to
just hard
defend
keep
yourself
track of.
again through text.
Yeah, and it's just not gonna happen. So yeah, just walk away. Know that you're better and that you don't need a friend like that.
Agreed.
And that you just are a better person.
True.
You just don't need it. Yeah. But I'm glad you did.
My friend lied about me, so I exposed the truth about her.
The truth hurts.
I, 25 female, had been friends with Cammie, 25 female, since kindergarten when her family moved next door to mine and we were both 6. We've been through everything together and once considered the other as a sister.
Oh.
We both have even moved to the same state to be closer to one another. By the way, this comes from OKBig86, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, about 2 years ago, Cammie started dating Andrew, 36 male, who I did not like. He was a lot older than her and just did not seem like the right guy for her. She once asked me what I thought of him at the beginning of their relationship, and I told her my opinion of him being too old, but she told me that everything was fine and that age was just a number.
I know someone else who said that, and that did not end well.
Another YouTuber,
Not another YouTuber, a musician.
a musician.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Mm.
Shout out to Aaliyah.
Okay. Now I'm lost.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I honestly didn't see anything else bad about him. So I eventually learned to let that go. But always had that uneasy feeling about him. Always hold on to that gut feeling. 8 months ago, Andrew proposed to Cammie and she immediately asked me to be a bridesmaid. I said yes, and I was happy for her. Her wedding was in late February of this year. In early November, Cammie comes over to my apartment to tell me that she had been actively cheating on Andrew for the past 6 months with some guy from her work.
Oh, that's not good. That's not a good thing. It's not good.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
I thought Andrew was going to come clean with this. It's kind of
Yeah,
shocking.
dude, Andrew's the good guy.
Oh, what?
I wasn't ready for that. Yeah, this is a total plot twist.
Oh.
Man.
She told me that Andrew found... Oh, wait. What? She told me that Andrew found out and instead of getting angry with her, asked for her forgiveness and wanted to know as to how he could be a better partner to her because he was failing her. Oh, no. This is even more dangerous.
Dear.
Oh, no.
Oh dear.
Dude, Cammie's gonna
Oh no.
have him wrapped around her finger, dude.
That's not good. Run, my brother, run.
She said the reason she was telling me was to go ahead and get it off her chest before I found out from someone else and thought badly of her. When she told me, I could tell she had no remorse and didn't even regret her cheating.
Dude.
This is the worst case scenario.
Dude, this is your friend? I don't know, bro. I don't know
I
if
wouldn't
it's
want to be friends with this person.
Yeah, this
Since
is
kindergarten? I can name one friend of yours that you've had since kindergarten.
Yeah, but I think if they were doing this, doing this behavior, I'd be like, I don't know you anymore.
Yeah.
IS? B?
Yeah, no, yeah, but that's so opposite to who they are.
That is true, but what if it happened?
Well, but I feel like people grow apart. I'd be like, oh, you're not the same person.
Yeah, that's tough.
Stuff.
That's a tough one.
I was shocked and asked if she regretted what she did, and she said it hurt her to see Andrew so upset. But she explained that things were so hot at work that the tension was too much for her
Huh?
and her coworker to ignore.
There's never an excuse, and that's maybe honestly one of the worst excuses. At least if you're gonna spout off an excuse, make it good.
I don't know, man. I get some pretty hot tension with my coworkers at work.
Oh God.
I mean, like,
It is toasty in here.
yeah.
What? It's freezing.
That's crazy.
Get a blanket.
I'm literally sweating.
Dude, we can't take more clothes off because we're streaming, but you can put more on.
Right?
I told her I was no longer going to be her bridesmaid and wasn't going to attend her wedding because I don't associate myself with cheaters and I no longer support her marriage, especially since she did not think what she did was wrong. Let's go.
That's what we like to see.
Cammie got very mad at me and told me off and eventually blocked me on everything. I never explained to anyone about her cheating for my reason as to why I chose not to go, and I made sure not to talk bad about Cammie to anyone who asked because I did consider her to be a sister.
Mm.
We have not talked since that day, and I know she and Andrew got married.
Married.
Okay.
I just know Andrew's gonna be coming home, seeing someone else in his bed with his wife and being like, "Oh, what's your name? Sorry, I couldn't do this for you, girl, but
Andrew's like, listen, babe, I know you're cheating again. Tell me what I did. What can do we do need a Euro trip? Like, do we want to go to Disney World? Like, what can I do?
oh, you want to go by yourself? Totally. Makes so much sense. Yeah.
Oh, you want a second seat just for room on the airplane? Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. I want you to have space on a seat.
Fast forward to last week, and I'm out with my boyfriend at a coffee shop where I run into one of Cammie's bridesmaids that is also one of her coworkers.
Oh.
She walked up to me and asked how I was, and I said I was fine and told her it was good to see her. Then she apologized for being too forward, but wanted to know if Cammie and I ever made up after our incident before her wedding. Confused. I asked what the incident was, and she eventually told me that Cammie explained to the bridal party that I chose to leave because of my feelings for Andrew and that I couldn't see him get married because of how I felt.
Dude.
No, wait, no. This isn't good. Because I got excited because I was like, oh, clap back, easy. We have no evidence. It was all verbal.
Yeah.
No!
Well.
Wait, really?
Andrew knows it happened.
Andrew's not going to say anything because he wants to be married to Cammie. He's not going to say, oh, yeah, she's been cheating on me.
I mean, and OP really is backed into a corner here. Also, it just blows my mind because Cammie like got away with it. Like Cammie was like, Andrew, I guess no one else knew.
Yeah.
Andrew let it slide. They had the wedding. And OP disappeared.
Yeah.
Like Cammie literally could have gotten away with it, but now by saying all this crap about OP, you're inviting OP to come back and start telling the truth about that. I don't know. It's tough. I'll say right at this point in the story, I'll say you want to like clear your name and tell people, especially this friend, the truth.
Yeah.
You know, it's just because you're right there in that moment. Yeah, but this is tough.
Cammie, dude. Get smarter. Think of a better excuse.
Yeah, be a better villain. You know, don't be a bad villain. My God.
Like, oh, she gonna make it because her grandma died. I don't know. Do something like that. Come on.
Golly, she's vengeful.
Okay, what is OP about to do? I was appalled. Not only did I not have any romantic feelings for Andrew, I never even really liked him. I told the bridesmaid that the reason I left was because Cammie's affair with her coworker, who she knows as well because they all work together.
Right.
When I told her that, the bridesmaid said she remembered Cammie and the coworker being close. Didn't know about the affair. She left the coffee shop not long after the conversation, and I feel guilty about telling her that since I haven't told anyone. My boyfriend says me telling her that makes it look as if I'm trying to hurt Cammie and Andrew, therefore making it seem as if I do like Andrew. Am I the a-hole for telling her that? I don't know if she told Cammie what I said. I don't know how Cammie and Andrew are doing, but I do feel bad that I shared her business to someone she works with. We got comments.
This is so tough. I don't know, Sophia. What do you think? I mean, this is kind of a really tough scenario. You're basically, you stepped out of the wedding because you're like, all right, she's like cheating and all this and whatever. Step away from the friendship, right? Then you find out that your friend Cammie has been saying like, oh, you had feelings for my fiance. That's why you didn't show up and you were like secretly pining for him. You know the truth that she cheated and like it was just like she didn't even care. Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts? I'm like lost here, honestly.
Well, it's like you're not even friends with her anymore. But if you have any mutual friends, maybe you're like, hey, that's not true at all.
Yeah, which I think they do.
Yeah, maybe just telling like anyone, you're like, hey, oh my God, I heard that Cammie was saying this about me. Like, yeah, that's not.
Just say it's not true. Yeah, because you can. Yeah, because you can say, hey, that's absolutely not the case. She's like kind of spreading this rumor about me, and you don't have to reveal.
Yeah, you don't have to do any other.
Yeah,
it's like, whoa, that's like a weird thing for her to say. It's not true.
Yeah, Emma says OP was backed into a corner. She had no choice but to say the truth. I will say saying the truth is the right thing to do.
Yeah,
just does make her look bad because the boyfriend makes a pretty good point to kind of seem like she did like Andrew in the first place. She's trying to hurt Cammy.
Yeah, I think Cammy knew that, and that's why she spread that specific lie, because she's like, I'm gonna say this, and OP is now effed, because if OP tells anyone the truth, it just looks like, oh, she was the one that made it up and she's jealous. I think
You mean girled it.
I think Cammy totally mean girled it. Honestly, I think I was like debating. I think I'm, at least as of right now, aligning with Sophia. Just say, hey, that's not true. It sucks because people still might think it is, because Cammy said it first. Like, honestly, I think because of the way, Cammy evilly masterminded it.
I do think that's at a certain point, Cammy will just reveal her true nature to these people. And then they'll be like, oh, that was a lie. Because that's happened to me, where someone was like spreading lies about me.
Ooh.
And like I had some people who were like, that doesn't sound right, but I guess that's true. And then like months later, we're like, oh yeah, she said that about you. And like now I'm realizing that was a total lie.
Okay, so the truth will find a way.
Yeah.
What a great real life example. My goodness.
I just wish she had a little bit more evidence. Like, oh, look at this. Whoop.
Yeah, we're now trapped in the corner we're in. Yeah, I think say, hey, that's not true about me, and then just let it breathe from there.
Agreed. But we got comments.
Oh God.
Comment number 1, not the a-hole. You were simply correcting a lie. Cammy didn't need to come up with a lie to explain your departure from the bridal party. You have every right to defend yourself. I feel sorry for Andrew. Hopefully he will one day realize his worth and accept that his wife's infidelity is not his fault. We got an update.
Oh.
Head first, I'm diving
Oh God.
in a very shallow pool. I feel like whenever I post on here, something immediately happens, resulting in an update. Cammy's other bridesmaid, who I saw at the coffee shop, reached out to me last night through Facebook.
Dude, this coffee shop is teeming with bridesmaids.
Is it the other Cammy's other bridesmaid? I think it's the same chick.
Oh, same chick?
I think so.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you're good. But that would have been another one.
Right.
I'll call her Jenna. Guess whose mugshot was posted on our local news site?
No.
Andrew. Andrew is the bad guy. Wait,
Dude.
What? What did Andrew do? What?
I thought we had this
Twists
figured
and
out.
turns.
I thought it was gonna be Cammy.
Yeah.
Unless Cammy set him up. I have no idea.
She mean girled Andrew,
Dude.
bro.
She was like, it was him, officer. I don't know what he did yet, but it was him.
Because I really would like to know more about like who Andrew is, how much money does Andrew have, and then Cammy, and then what her intentions are. She may have mean girled it. She already mean girled once. She did very successful. She may be like mean girled it again, got with another guy, stole all of Andrew's money, brained him.
I'm not gonna lie, this curveball has me totally thrown, and I'm not. Usually we can kind of see what's about to happen.
Yeah.
I'm lost now.
Me too.
Wow. Okay. Let's keep going.
Usually you can see what's You're lost now?
Reading comprehension 110%. Just ask the Facebook comments.
Oh man. I won't exactly say what he did, but it involves his work computer, personal computer, and phone, so you can make your assumptions from that.
I'm afraid.
Ooh. Okay, so that was the gut feeling you've had all along, OP. Cammy reached out to Jenna a few nights ago, crying, saying that Andrew had been arrested while on shift because of what the IT guy found on his work computer.
Oh, wait, what was that comment about the age and number?
Yep. Andrew took that, I think, very literally.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jenna decided to tell me because Cammy mentioned to her how I always felt uneasy about Andrew and how she should have listened. Jenna asked Cammy, why would I cause I was so in love with him? And that's when Cammy came clean and told her about the lie and about her affair with their coworker.
So now she's telling the.
Probably because Andrew's a horrible person.
Yeah.
And her horrible act is not as bad as Andrew's horrible act.
She looks like okay in comparison. Oh my god.
She's like, yeah, I cheated on Andrew, but because he sucks.
Oh, dude. How is Cammy keep getting away with it? This is infuriating.
You can't keep getting away with this.
This is infuriating, dude.
And she's like, isn't it crazy that OP likes him even though he sucks? Wow, bad taste.
No, I'm not going to say that. I was just saying, like, it's a computer. Anyone could access a computer and plant things on a computer if they're messed up. Conspiracy.
Dude, I mean, Cammy is crazy, but
hopefully not that
hopefully we can only pray she's not that crazy.
Oh, God.
Goodness.
Ugh.
Oh,
Cammy
yeah.
went on to explain that ever since her and Andrew married, Andrew became very physical with her because of her affair. He waited until there was a ring on her finger to really tell her how he felt about the cheating. I asked Jenna if Cammy said anything about still seeing the coworker while they were married, and Jenna said Cammy is still seeing him, but swears it's just a friendship now. That's why Andrew was so upset with her. They're friends now. You can do stuff and definitely become friends afterwards. Come on.
Oh man. Okay.
Right?
No.
Jenna did admit to me that she told Cammy she saw me the other day, which made Cammy ask if she'd think I'd be willing to talk to her. Jenna told her that she didn't know, but could try to see what would happen. Cammy hasn't reached out to me yet, and I don't know if she will. I don't know what I will do if she does, but that's the update about her for now. I've noticed there were a few people in my last post talking about my boyfriend's response. To let you know, I did ask him about it, and he did say he was more worried about how it made me look in that moment. I'll accept that answer for now, but if he acts up, I will definitely think about things. So far, he's been great. Dude, every time boyfriend ever says anything in these Reddit posts, everyone's like, no, they're horrible.
Oh man.
I will wait, but if he acts up, I will definitely think about things. That's also, I don't know how I feel about that. Just break up with him if you feel that way.
Right.
I'm keeping an eye on him.
I don't got my eye on you, buddy.
But that's it. Hopefully, I'll probably update if Cammy ever reaches out, but I'm kind of hoping she doesn't. We got an update.
Okay, so Cammy reaches out, and dude, bro? The curveballs in the story have been crazy, and I'm afraid we're in for like another completely just like reverse Uno, just unexpected.
Yeah, and I'm kind of scared by Cammy, not gonna lie. Because have you ever seen Gone Girl? Answers no.
Nope.
But you got Mean Girls.
Mhm.
In Gone Girl, this woman does crazy things to basically like fake a death or whatever,
Oh wow.
and gets away with it and just manipulates to the max manipulating. And is Cammy a Gone Girl or is she a Mean Girl? Because Mean Girls, it's only high school.
It's like petty gossip, like
Yeah.
yeah.
This whole computer thing, if this is actually true and there's no conspiracy that Cammy did anything, might be getting into some.
I mean, that's like truly just like insanely insidious. Like, I hope she's just like a regular, regular old bad person. You know what I mean?
I hate to say that. I just don't know what to think of Cammy because she said that lie to OP, and I just don't know. Like, I want to like it's probably true. Andrew did treat her horribly. I just, and I don't want to like. Now I have someone's truth on the line. Like, are they telling the truth or not? But I just don't know what to think about this woman.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely like all over the place and not like, before all of this, the cheating was not good. But yeah, I think Andrew's probably also doing some horrendous things that we have that have come up.
Andrew's a bad guy. Honestly, after reading that, I feel like gut check Cammy got a little too in over her head.
They're just both terrible in their own ways.
Yeah, agreed. But Andrew was much more terrible.
Yeah.
Comments. Stop wondering if she'll reach out to you and just block her already. Unless you enjoy eating popcorn as you watch her drama unfold, there's really nothing for you here, is there? Can you ever really truly respect her like you did before you find out? Because they were sisters.
Yep.
Got an update. Like a good old honest apology could go a long ways.
From Cammy? I mean, yeah, but like, is Cammy gonna do that? Like, almost, I feels like not. Maybe, I don't know.
Update 2. Cammy reached out to me. I was starting to think she wasn't going to, but she texted me last night asking if we could talk.
Okay.
I responded, "Is this about your husband being in jail?" And she immediately called me. She was crying. She kept saying she had no idea Andrew was like that and wished we'd paid more attention to about how I felt about him. I told her that I had no idea he was doing that, and I'm sorry for how he was. She said something about being a hot divorce.
Hot divorcee.
She was saying something about being a hot divorcee and a few other things about this finally freeing her, as if she wasn't actually cheating on Andrew throughout most of their relationship.
God.
She then asked how I was doing. Wow. She's really looking for the.
I mean, I feel bad for her in the sense of like, I do honestly believe that she didn't know he was doing all this stuff. But then, yeah, again, it's like, dude, you were literally cheating on this guy the whole time. You married him. You didn't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do any of this. Just like be like, you know what? I'm cheating. Let me not do this to you. Let me leave. Let me not just leave. Let me not get married to you. Let me not go to like the final boss after. Anyways.
Agreed.
Anyways.
And the fact, like, you know, if my wife got put in jail, I wouldn't be like, man, I'm hot. I'm a silver fox now. I'm a hot divorcee.
I'm a silver fox.
I'm going to go hit the town.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Give yourself some time.
Yeah, please.
God.
She didn't even apologize for spreading that lie about me liking her husband. But guys, we will spread lies about you unless you go to your favorite podcast platform, search up OK Storytime, and just listen to our stories, and we won't call you a bad listener. Oh, you're a good one.
I'm going to mark you with a marker if you don't do it.
She didn't apologize. OP's... What's this woman's name? Not Jenna.
Cammy?
Cammy's hurt. She just needs her sister right now. Should we wait for the apology? Kind of help her in this moment?
My gut is saying I will console her in this moment because it's like, that is a crazy thing to have happen with Andrew. Like, I do like if we're like kind of like we can kind of like look at things a little isolated, you know, or like one by one, I guess you could say. That does suck.
Yeah,
I think I would console her on that phone call and be like, you know, that is really hard and that, like, you know, like that does suck. Would I continue to console her? Would I continue to answer more phone calls and like build the friendship? I think after, like shortly after that, you could be like, hey, look, I'm glad that, you know, I was able to be there for you and you're kind of like, you know, like right after, you know, when it was raw and hopefully that was helpful to have, you know, have that conversation. I wanted to be there for you in that moment. However, like you're out here, you know, cheating on this guy, like all this stuff is going on. You spread this lie about me, never apologize. Like
that's true.
I just need to protect my peace. And I just need to keep it pushing. I don't think I can keep doing it.
I forgot about the part where OP was very like uncomfortable with the cheating.
Yeah. She told her about it. Cammy was like brushed her off for that. Cammy made up that crazy lie that also like basically put OP in a corner. Like if OP told the truth, then she would look like even more of the a-hole. So Cammy really did some mean stuff to OP. I think we have one moment of you know, mercy and empathy.
Agreed.
And then after that, we can be like, hey, I'm protecting my peace.
I agree. Sophia?
I agree.
Last little bit. I asked if we were going to talk about what she said to the bridal party about my absence. She paused, laughed, then asked me if I was really upset over something that wasn't as bad as what Andrew ended up doing.
Cammy. Okay. Yes. Goodbye.
I just hung up. I probably wouldn't have if I didn't read your comment on my last update saying not to give her the time of day, and you were all right. She does not care about me after all we've been through together. I blocked her number, so I don't know if she's tried to reach out again, but I'm done, and that's the update. All right.
Well, there you go.
Hey,
I mean,
I love that.
All's well that ends well. Andrew's out of her life because he's literally in jail. Cammy's out of her life because she realized that, like, hey, you suck.
Yeah.
All's well that she has now removed all of these crazy people from her life, and now she gets to pursue her stuff.
Yeah, just go be with the coworker. Go cheat on him.
Yeah. Away from me. Far, far, far away.
And so one more quick thing, and I know real quick that OP is definitely going to be looking back and being like, oh yeah, Cammy definitely did this to me and used me in this instance. Like once you see the red flags, more red flags reveal itself.
Yes. She now sees the truth, and I see a sad truth.
My friend asks for opinions, then gets mad when she receives them.
You don't like what you're hearing.
I'm a bridesmaid in my friend's wedding in June. Some backstory, my friend is currently in university and has an upcoming medical school interview, so she's been very stressed. By the way, this comes from Jungle Juice 172, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, since she got engaged in the summer, she has no idea what she wanted to do for colors. I and the other bridesmaids suggested she order some swatches from Azazi so she could start building a color palette. At Christmas time, she still hadn't determined her colors, but she wanted to go shopping for her flowers at a local silk florist. Originally, she wanted to design her own bouquet, but before even going shopping for those flowers, she ordered $400 worth of flowers from Temu? Like fake flowers?
That's like for Temu flowers, that's got to be an absurd amount of
Oh my
flowers.
goodness. All of which she isn't using now. Now that she has her flowers picked out, she still can't come to a decision on colors for her bridesmaids' dresses. She originally wanted to get dresses from Park and Fifth, so she went to the store and tried them on herself and loved them. Her sister, who is her maid of honor, hated all of the dresses because of the style, form-fitting and silk. This past weekend, I got a text from the bride to show me the colors she had chosen. There was a dusty lilac, agave, yellow, blue, and peach. She asked which color I would feel comfortable wearing. I said any color she wanted me to wear, I'd more than happily wear. She then said that wasn't good enough and that she wanted my opinion. I said again that any color would be good. So she picked purple for me, and that was good enough by me. She has said to us bridesmaids multiple times that we can pick whatever dress we want as long as we're comfortable. But then she asked me to send her the top dresses I liked so she could pick. I agreed and sent her the ones I liked. She asked out of all of them which was my favorite. So I told her. And then she said that it wasn't hers and she preferred a different one. Why did you ask?
She got you with the curveball.
Yeah. I said to her that I wouldn't be as comfortable in that one if that's what she was concerned about, but I would happily wear it. She asked for some time to think about it and said she would get back to me. About an hour later, she was freaking out after thinking she found her bridesmaid dress colors and then realizing they didn't look good with her flowers. So she asked for advice, and I said if she went with her gut and stuck to only agave, it would look beautiful with her other color, navy. But then she said she should have simplified her flowers if she wanted bright colors. Why is she asking your advice?
This whole thing is just pick a lane.
Yeah.
Drive in it.
It became a whole thing, and she can't change her flowers now because she already has them. I also explained to her that out of 1,000 photos a photographer will take, 10 to 15 will be with her bridesmaids. Also, her photographer has a very muted style, so that'll also change the colors in a picture. Then, all of a sudden, she flips a switch while I'm telling her that all of these ideas are very pretty and will work. She then says, I think agave is the way I want to go. I think it'll look great on everyone, and I'm not asking this time. I'm just going to be telling. At that point, I was so confused because she wanted our opinions as to which color we liked. Only 2 of the bridesmaids got to pick what they liked. I told her I would wear anything. Then she said that she doesn't want to come across as pushy. Aw, I guess we don't always get what we want. And I told her she wasn't being pushy. Finally, I asked if she was looking for opinions or for us to tell her that we didn't like the color she wanted us to wear. It's her wedding, but she's so wrapped up in what other people will think that it's inhibiting her ability to make a decision. I said the only thing that's making her sound pushy is when she tells us we can wear whatever dress we want, but then she wants to pick the dress. I explained that if she wants us to feel comfortable, that's not how you go about that.
Pick a lane.
At that point, her fiancé texted the other bridesmaids to tell her to casually mention to me that I was being rude and that the bride was incredibly offended that I didn't like her favorite dress. Because I liked my favorite dress. But the bride never communicates when she's offended about something. It ended up being a whole thing, and I later apologized to her for coming across as aggressive. But I also said to her that if she's seeking opinions and advice, she can't keep getting mad when someone gives her advice or opinions. Bear in mind, for my wedding, this girl is also my bridesmaid and told me the dresses I wanted for bridesmaids were ugly and she wouldn't do her hair how I wanted it done. She later tells me she won't punt me out of the wedding and that my opinions and advice are incredibly valuable to her. But every time she asks for my opinion, she just gets mad at me.
Gotta love that.
So I've determined she's seeking validation and just wants everyone to agree with her all the time.
Correct.
That's my Bridezilla story. This is incredibly exhausting to me. And there is an update. But do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, if you're going to have a wedding, it's your wedding.
Yeah.
So you decide what it looks like and don't worry about what other people are going to think or want. Just worry about what you think and what you want.
Exactly. Update. This weekend, the bride had her bachelorette party. We're from Manitoba. So it's the bridal party's job to plan and pay for the bride to attend. The weekend began on Friday at 7 p.m. We all drove to the bride's condo where her and 2 of the other bridesmaids live. We went to Activate and had a blast. We came back after that and had snacks and drinks and did a lingerie shower for the bride, ended with some games, and went to bed. Saturday was where crap hit the fan. We went for brunch in the morning and then went on a pedal pub. The bride decided it would be a fantastic idea to order 2 punch bowls, margarita and mojito, at the first location, and she had about 15 cups of it.
Oh, Lord.
Whew. She was wasted by our first stop, but it's her batch. She can enjoy herself.
Are you enjoying yourself after
Happy
that
that
much
time.
alcohol?
Then we had 2 other stops where she continued to drink. And then some of the girls wanted a sangria tower. They all hated it, but had to drink it anyways. The walk back to the vehicles was slow for the bride. Yeah, I can imagine so. We asked if she'd be okay and ready to go to a Mexican restaurant for 8. No, she said yes, so we continued on. Girl, no.
Why are we listening to the wildly intoxicated person's opinion?
The crazy. Then the bride started puking.
Huh.
Shock.
Don't worry, she's just making space for that dinner you're going to at 8.
The friend driving us had to pull over 4 times for the bride to puke. At that point, I'd stay pulled over.
It's time to go home now.
Yeah. Some of us suggested maybe ordering pizza, getting into comfy clothes, and watching movies instead of going to this Mexican restaurant that would turn into a club at 10 p.m. The bride refused and ended up passed out on the bathroom floor back at her condo. I had to go get her some electrolytes. She also puked 2 more times at home.
You know, this is really giving the energy that someone is dreading getting married.
Yeah, this does not seem like she's excited. We ended up getting ready to leave for the restaurant over an hour later than planned because of the bride passing out. Like, this isn't normal behavior. Something is wrong. Not a big deal. Now, keep in mind, the bridesmaid that planned most of this bachelorette trip is pregnant in her first trimester and was dealing with a terrible cold as well. So we got to the restaurant and the bride was angry that it was their late night menu because it was after 9 p.m. She also didn't want to drink anything. This is important to know for the rest of the story.
Well, she should be wanting to drink lots of water.
So we eat some appetizers and wait for the restaurant to turn into a club. Now, the girls that were there for her all didn't know we were clubbing except for 2 of them. So when we heard about this, some girls were confused. So 10 p.m. rolled around and the dance floor opened up. The only things the bride wanted to do on her bachelorette weekend were get wasted and dance. She certainly nailed the first one, but she wouldn't dance until 12 a.m.
Why?
At that point, she had made the entire group annoyed because we drove all the way to this place that she loves just for her not to want to dance. Out of 9 girls, 6 of us all hate clubbing, but we were all there to do what she wanted. So her sister, who was her maid of honor, explained to her that if she wasn't going to dance, we would be leaving.
Wow, that's her sister being there and like not cutting off this situation before it got to this point is wild.
That's not, like, this is that's the person who can be like, I don't care if you get mad at me. We're going on. It took another half hour of getting the bride out on the dance floor. And at this point, the bridesmaid who planned everything was nauseous from the smell of vaping and needed to go outside, and she asked me to come with her. That's when she started crying. I asked her what was wrong, and the bride, who is this bridesmaid's future sister-in-law, had said to another girl that she just wanted me and her to leave because we weren't even dancing with her. We had danced a bunch, but the pregnant one was cramping, tired, and nauseous, and felt that everything she was doing wasn't good enough for the bride. By the way, it's always good for us if you listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to the story. Any final thoughts about this whole bride situation, Dakota?
I would say someone should have cut her off.
Yeah.
Or at least, like,
When she was at home, passed out at her condo, and she wakes up, she's like, let's go out again. You go, no, sorry, we don't think it's safe.
Yeah.
Sorry, girl.
Let's
we don't
go
think
back
it's
to
safe.
sleep. We already ordered pizza. We can't go. The club's closed.
And
actually.
she goes, oh, why you guys hate me? This is my day. You go, I know. I'm sorry, but we don't think it's safe.
You say it was your day until you had 17 drinks.
Yeah, sorry, we don't. Yeah, and then you just keep. And she goes, oh, you hate me. You're so selfish. I never want to see you again. Yeah, I understand. You're feeling disappointed. That's safe. That's what should have happened. Shouldn't have gone to the club. At the end of it all, we left at 1:30 a.m. Everyone was mad at the bride for making such a scene, and then of all the things, wanting to go clubbing and not even get tipsy. She wasted everyone's time and wasn't grateful for anything that was planned for her. She complained the entire time and made all of us feel horrible for trying to plan something fun. Now that this weekend is done, we're counting down for when her wedding is over. This has been a crap show. Yowza.
Wowzers.
And that's the whole story. You need to have a conversation with her.
Yeah, I would be like talking to her sister, being like, "Hey, so
Yeah.
that was really intense, right?
Yeah.
Does she maybe not
She
want to
might- I
get
think-
married?"
Yeah, I'm like, well, like, does she have a drinking problem? What's going on?
My friend was horrible during my bachelorette. It's time for a break.
I think so.
Background. I got engaged in 2020 after the lockdowns, but long before my friends and I were comfortable seeing each other in person. A couple of months after my fiance and I got engaged, I sent out packages to all the ladies I had chosen as bridesmaids. One of them is the crazy bridesmaid. I'll call her Ellen for the sake of anonymity, for whom this post is about. By the way, this comes from Tyre Labrise. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. We've been friends since high school and are still in the same core friend group. And while not as close as we once were, I still wanted her to be a big part of our special day. We recently went on my bachelorette party, which was a weekend-long trip to an affluent town a couple of hours away on the coast. We were a large group of girls, and it took my maid of honor a lot of time and effort to coordinate an itinerary and place to stay that would accommodate everyone. On to the story. From the very second we got into the house rental, Ellen was anxious.
Oh boy.
Everything was about Ellen. Everything Ellen over here. Someone had a funny story to share. Ellen had a funny one. Someone complimented another person's outfit. Ellen had to step in the middle of the room and talk about how awesome her outfit was. So beautiful.
I mean, your outfit is great.
Oh, so gorgeous. At one point, someone asked me where we were honeymooning. And Sam, what
My honeymoon was better.
Pray tell, what do we think Ellen said?
Ellen came in and said her honeymoon was better. That's what I'm thinking.
Ellen and her husband had just booked a vacation to that same resort. And on and on and on.
Oh my God.
Now, I am not the type of bride that needs constant attention. Seriously, I had to take a day off the Bachelorette because 72 hours straight of socializing had me completely exhausted. Anyways, on to the worst of what Ellen did. Those were just some appetizers, ladies and gentlemen. On our final night, we had a reservation at the nicest restaurant in town. I'm talking renowned chef, $80+ entrees, dress code, etc.
Ooh.
Everyone got dressed up and excited. We arrived to the restaurant around 5 minutes early. Our table wasn't ready yet. No problem. I understand that there are currently staffing shortages in the service industry and that patience is a virtue. Ellen does not understand this because she immediately started scolding the hostess for not having our table ready and then scolded her for seating us outside at an outdoor restaurant. And next to a live band, everyone wanted to go for the music in addition to the food. It got increasingly worse from there. Ellen spoke about money constantly, as in how much she makes, how much she will make, how much her lifestyle will be going forward.
That is the most boring topic imaginable.
God, dude. Something important to note is that everyone on the trip is not rich. Most of us come from privileged backgrounds, family, but independently are not wealthy. We are middle and upper middle class. Some are educators, some are mothers, some are in sales. We all work. Some have student loans. And while we are much, much more privileged than some, we don't talk about money. My opinion is that when you talk about how well off you are, you do a great job at making others feel like crap. Yeah, and I feel like generally, like, healthy conversations around money are like financial literacy, like education. Never like, oh yeah, you know, I'm out here making the big bucks and getting Mr. McMansion Yachterson over here.
Mr. McMahon.
Mr. McMansion Yachterson.
Yeah.
He was number
Dude,
one.
I actually love that. I love, like, you know, like Richie Rich.
Yeah.
See, that's a boring name. I want Mr.
McMansion Yachterson.
Now that's a name that I can
He
get
was
behind.
number one, okay? Not to mention that literally no one gives a rat's butt about your financial situation. But back to the dinner. Ellen ordered around the waitstaff in a demeaning manner.
Dude, that is like one of the biggest red flags of any person.
Biggest and easiest red flag.
Yeah, dude.
Ever.
If they are terrible to waitstaff, oh, just dude, get out of my face.
Screamed at a busboy to make him take away patio heaters from other patrons and bring them to our table. Screamed at a manager to bring us complimentary Prosecco because she was cold. Lol. Took her cell phone flashlight out to show the manager that her steak was cooked. Bro, she had the full interrogation.
Yeah.
Look here.
Look what you've done.
It's medium rare, not medium rare. Well, to show the manager that the steak was cooked medium and not medium rare. and made it a point to yell at / berate every employee she saw. It was mortifying.
It sounds like a great time.
Dude, what's the point where we're
you
like,
gotta leave.
hey, Ellen, sorry, girl, but this is not it. And, we're trying to enjoy the rest of this thing. I don't know how to say it, but I'm like, girl, bye,
I think at some point you gotta, after yelling at the busboy, I feel like you would be like, yo, Ellen, that was really whack. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
She's your friend. I feel like you could confront her a little bit.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would confront a little bit. I'm like, hey, that's really whack. Like, we don't want to do that.
Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm very, very curious. Would you kick her out of the Bachelorette party as of now? Please comment below. I'm curious. The final straw was when it was announced that my father had graciously called the restaurant to pay for our $1,500 bill as a gift to us all on our last night of the trip.
That's super nice.
So sweet, so cute. Ellen's immediate response was not to thank my father. He was on the phone with the maid of honor. Oh no, Ellen's first response was, well, if I knew someone else was paying for my meal, I wouldn't have asked for my steak to be comped.
Ellen,
Keep your eye on the prize.
if she's making so much money, why is she fretting about comping steaks?
Why do we care?
Why do you, something's not
Why
adding
do
up.
we care? The math ain't mathin', Ellen. You know what I'm getting? Huge debt, living a crazy lifestyle.
Ooh, yeah, that makes sense.
That's what I'm
Huge
getting
debt.
here.
Yep.
I excused myself and went to the bathroom, holding back tears of frustration and disgust. The next day, we were getting ready to leave, and Ellen was clueless as to why nobody wanted to engage with her. Ellen is unaware of her behavior, never thanked my dad, and is mad at me, the bride, for wanting to go to a nearby pub for a nightcap after dinner. I needed one. Trust me. Yeah, it's just, I always just feel for people in these stories where their weddings or bachelorette parties are ruined by a single person. It's just so sad, man. It's supposed to be like once in a lifetime thing.
And they make it all about them. Yeah.
But after I headed home, Ellen and two other girls got into a roller coaster of a conversation that did not end well for Ellen. I am still so disgusted by the way she treated the employees at the restaurant. I am so appalled by the way she grossly discussed money in front of the girls who are underpaid public school teachers. My wedding is coming up in under 2 weeks, and I want the day to be drama-free. I am planning to compartmentalize my anger and frustration towards Ellen and not acknowledge it until the wedding is over.
I mean, I think you should just not invite Ellen.
Yes.
I feel like Ellen's going to be a mess. I feel like you should use this information.
Yes, use it.
And integrate it into all of your decision making so you do not invite Ellen, the crazy, to your beautiful wedding.
Yes. Use your anger. Opie says, my question is, should I even bother talking to Ellen after the wedding about why I'm upset? At this point, I don't even know if I want to continue the friendship. I feel so sad and hurt over all of this. And we do have some relevant comments. We still got like half the story left to go, but real quick, just to explicitly answer Opie's question.
You should definitely talk to her.
Definitely talk to her.
Definitely talk to her. I mean, this behavior is almost uninvite worthy, or I think is uninvite worthy. And so you need to understand what the heck is going on in her life where she's acting out like this. Because I can't imagine this is behavior that has happened often, or she wouldn't be a bridesmaid. Right.
I mean, I think back in the beginning, she did kind of preface like she was kind of always not like
there
the coolest cat.
Then why is she? Dude,
then why'd you?
Yeah. Why invite her? I think have a conversation with her first.
Yeah.
Say like, hey, like, do you realize how bad that was? And depending on her answer, then I think it might be definitely stepping down as bridesmaid for sure. I don't know, like. Is she going to pull the same crap at your wedding? Like, I feel like...
Yeah.
I would take this one. Oh, I don't know if I want this person at my wedding.
Yeah, I think especially because not like either A, she would be a bridesmaid, so that way she has like, it's like easier for her to mess things up like the ceremony, or B, she gets bumped from being a bridesmaid and then she's like so disgruntled that she causes a scene. Like, I honestly think for OP's sanity, it's like, I think give her the iPhone lock screen like, hey, we need to time out a little bit. That timeout includes 2 weeks, aka my wedding.
Yeah.
But we have some relevant comments. Commenter number 1 says, I'd have words before the wedding and ask her to sit down as a bridesmaid, even retract her invitation completely. She isn't there to make you happier. You'll be worried all day about her behavior. And OP replies, 2 bridesmaids have apparently stepped up to wrangle her on the day of and keep her in line, but I am seriously considering uninviting her, which is something I am going to discuss with my fiance when we both get home from work tonight. You're right that if she comes to the wedding, I will be worried about her behavior all day, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
Nor should you. Thankful to strangers on the internet for helping me see clearly. Haha. Reply, I wouldn't feel comfortable putting that responsibility on my friends. If she's a grown adult and can't behave as such, that's her problem. OP says they offered. I didn't ask, which is why I am okay with the idea of it for now. One of my bridesmaids is her BFF / former roommate, so she knows her very well. And we have the update.
I want to hear it.
Let's get into it.
Let's hit it.
Some of you asked for an update, so here it is. I was planning to talk to Ellen after hearing so many of your thoughts, but the conversation was put on hold when one of my other bridesmaids, we'll call her Morgan, called me crying 4 days before the wedding. Her boyfriend had a massive heart attack. Oh my God.
What?
He is in his 30s and leads an active and healthy lifestyle.
Oh my God.
So to say we were all shocked would be an understatement.
Oh my God.
Needless to say, everyone's focus shifted towards supporting Morgan's boyfriend and Morgan herself during such a tough time. Luckily, everyone is now home, healthy, and recovering. Whew, oh my God. What a
world. I feel like,
Jeez.
something like that happens. We're like, oh, wow, all that stuff is put in perspective.
Yes, it
Yeah,
just
you're like, all right,
realigns everything, right?
man.
So after the wedding, my husband and I went on our honeymoon, and I planned to speak to Ellen when I got back. So it sounds like Ellen did still go to the wedding. As soon as we landed, Morgan and another bridesmaid, Lana, let me know that Ellen had dropped both of them as friends after 15 years.
Why?
I was shocked. Apparently, Ellen told them that they left her to fend for herself on the last night of the Bachelorette because she wanted to stay at a pub with friends we ran into, and we left.
Ellen is a little odd. Ellen is an odd duck. Ellen is drama.
Like literally, she met her other friends there.
Ellen is drama, dude. This is wild. I don't like this
Ellen,
at all.
Please explain.
Yeah.
I don't understand. So Ellen takes medication and needs to take it by 9 a.m. It was in her hotel room. Her Uber kept canceling that night, and she demanded that Morgan come get her at 3 a.m. This would have meant waking up multiple sleeping girls at that hour to move their cars after everyone had been drinking. It was a horrible idea, and luckily, Ellen got an Uber within 30 minutes and got back to her hotel. Regardless of all of this, Ellen blames both of the girls for quote-unquote leaving her to fend for herself, even though she was never in any danger. And for the record, I repeatedly asked her if she wanted to take our Uber back with us. I also asked her if she was okay staying, and she said she wanted to. She knew all of the people at the pub and didn't want to call it a night at that point. So after learning all of this, I reached out to Ellen and told her every single thing she did to ruin my Bachelorette weekend. Now we're
communicating.
The communication is we're at communication station, and the train is left. I told her she was entitled, tacky, and horribly behaved. I expressed how upset she made not only me, but all of the other girls on the trip. By the way, if you don't want to upset me, go to Spotify, Apple, or iHeart and search OK Storytime. Listen to our 2000 episodes. Please.
Do it. John will get mad. You won't like him when he's angry.
But ladies and gentlemen, we have the finale to the story.
Let's hit it.
A little bit of a surprise.
Okay.
Shockingly, she apologized for everything.
I don't believe it.
Total 180. She's cured.
No.
She's cured.
You're goofing me. You're giving me a goof.
Put the text on the screen. Boom.
What?
That's just the first sentence, though. That's just the first sentence. Buckle your seatbelts, gentlemen. She told me she appreciated my honesty and was glad that I called her out, and that she's always been envious / jealous of me. It was wild and unexpected.
What? Okay. All right. That's honestly a very unexpected but great response.
Little breath of fresh air, I guess.
Okay.
Regardless, I told her I need to take a break from the friendship because of how horrible she acted, just straight up taking our advice. Let's go.
That's fair.
And that I can't be friends with someone who brings jealous and negative energy into the mix.
That's totally fair.
We left it at that.
Wow. That's great.
It's a huge bummer, but I'd rather have supportive and meaningful friendships than fake and jealous ones.
Yeah, dude, agreed.
And there you go.
Wow. That's where it ends? Low key.
Over.
Phenomenal communication at the end by both of them.
Yeah, dude.
I think that was a masterclass for both of them. Like with everything that happened before, Ellen admitted that she did wrong admitted why she did wrong. And then OP is like, oh, wow, I thank you for telling me, but I don't want that kind of friendship.
Yes.
I'm not going no contact, cutting you out, but we're taking distance.
We need some time.
Yes.
Wow. Masterclass. Pretty good.
I made my sister cry on her wedding day because I'm not following her rules.
Oh, cry me a river.
About a year ago, my 41 female sister, 33 female, sent out her save the dates. She was getting married less than a week before my son's 18th birthday. Since my family is all over the country, my son has never had a big birthday celebration. My sister was planning a post-wedding brunch the day after the ceremony and reception, and I asked if she would be okay if we could do something for my son in the afternoon, since family will already be gathered for her wedding. She loved the idea, and I ran it by my son and reminded him he can do something with his friends on his actual birthday. Both were happy with the idea. I even chose a venue away from the hotel we'd all be staying at so my sister wouldn't feel we were encroaching on her wedding. By the way, this comes from Wedding Whoopsie, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. All good so far, no problems. 6 months ago, the invitations came and I RSVP'd for me and my son. Ex-husband is not in the picture. Meal options were a beef dish or a fish dish. I RSVP'd for 2 beef dinners. Now on to the problem and where I'm being told I'm in the wrong. At the reception yesterday, my almost 18-year-old son was given a child's meal. Chicken nuggets and steak fries. I told the server there was a mistake and we RSVP'd for the beef dish. The server took the plate and brought out a beef dinner 2 minutes later. For clarification, this wasn't a child-free wedding, and there were about 5 kids there, aged 4 to 9 or so. At the brunch today, my sister pretty much ignored me and was really cold when she did talk to me. As it was ending, I asked if she was still coming to my son's celebration since she seemed like she was mad at me. She pulled out a piece of paper and said, maybe I'll come once you pay this. The paper was an invoice she made up for $77 for an extra dinner. The steak was $77?
That's how it is at weddings.
We're having a barbecue at my wedding. I was confused and asked her what it was about. And apparently my nearly 18-year-old son was supposed to get a child's meal, and the caterer was charging my sister an additional $77, and that it was my fault they had to provide an additional meal. I told her that 1, I had RSVP'd and chosen the adult meal for him months ago, and 2, he's a 17-year-old. How would anyone think a meal of 4 chicken nuggets and a handful of fries would be enough for him? It became this big blow up, and my sister turned it into people having to take sides. And surprise, my son's birthday party ended up being a disaster that almost no one attended because your sister is the bride and she makes the rules on her day. Even our mom skipped it because my sister was inconsolable. I still think I'm being perfectly reasonable. Am I really this wrong about wedding etiquette? Relevant comments. Partially Star says, no, you didn't break etiquette. Your sister is insane. You RSVP'd for beef. He should have gotten beef. No one over the age of 11 eats kids' meals. And OP says, thank you. I feel like once a child is a teenager, they graduate to the adult table and meal. Well, honestly, I feel like this is the parents' decision. You know, it's a parent-child co-decision on what they need to eat. And so, you know, if you have a 10-year-old who's like, I'm a growing 10-year-old, I need a full meal, then that's the parents' decision if they get the kid a full meal.
This boy's 17.
Global Fact 7752, I'm sorry, I agree with you. Here's what's odd to me. Someone had to have given the caterer a count of how many adult meals and how many children's meals. Nobody in their right mind would tell a caterer a child's meal for a 17-year-old. My son was man-sized at almost 18, and I'm sure yours is as well. Now, on your behalf, I would have done the exact same thing. I would have immediately assumed the kitchen had simply made a mistake. Something is rotten in Denmark here because someone had to have counted your son as a child, which is bizarre. I won't even go into the caterer charging that much for a plate. Just ridiculous. Secondly, it was your sister's choice to get all worked up and mad at her own wedding. This is something that could have been easily addressed at a later time. I can't see where you did anything wrong, but the takeaway from this is somebody turned in 1 adult and 1 child onto the caterer. No offense, your sister sounds like a piece of work, OP says, but the takeaway from this is somebody turned in 1 adult and 1 child onto the caterer. Exactly. The RSVP didn't go directly to the caterer, so at some point my sister decided to give my son a kid's meal. And if this was such an issue, why didn't she immediately address it with me? Dolphine Darko says, I would love to know what the bride's actual attendance was. Did everyone actually show up? And were they short a beef plate? I find that very hard to believe. Please forward these responses to your family. They are absolutely crazy to take our side. Opie says, the reception was about 180 people. I do know at least 4 didn't show up since my mom complained about it to me. Sister's coworker's family got the vid. I wonder if they'll get invoices too. And there is an update, but excellent question for the caterers. 4 people that at least one of them had to have ordered the beef unless they all ordered the fish. But yeah, why wasn't one of those plates used? This makes no sense.
Exactly. And I'm also kind of confused. I don't know. The caterer just seems kind of whack. I don't know if this is just how I interpreted it or heard it or something, but was the bride was given the invoice in the middle of the wedding? Or was that a later conversation?
That's a good question.
I'm on it.
When she pulled up the invoice, it sounded like it was just in the middle of the wedding. She's like, this is why I'm not talking to you. I'm going to go ahead and do my own wedding thing, and dance around or something.
Something's fishy about this caterer, but there's an update. I posted a few days ago, and I'm not sure if this sub allows for or welcomes updates. We do, though. But here it is. It's not good. My post was about my sister ordering a children's meal for my 17-year-old son at her reception and throwing a fit the next day and invoicing me to pay for his extra adult meal that he wasn't supposed to get. Thank you all for confirming it was correct that my son should have been given the adult meal we RSVP'd with.
The invoice was given at a brunch the next day. So they didn't get the invoice at the actual reception.
I found out it was all planned. Of course it was. After my sister agreed for my son to have his milestone 18th birthday celebrated the day after the wedding, since all family would already be there for the wedding, she decided she didn't want to share her weekend anymore. Which she could have said. She could have said, hey, I understand why you wanted to throw the son's birthday party. Don't think I want to do it on this weekend. Could have said that. Yes, she got Friday for the rehearsal and rehearsal dinner, Saturday for the ceremony and reception, and apparently needed all of Sunday too. Would the reasonable thing be to tell me she was no longer comfortable with my son's party? Yes, and I would have canceled and postponed it. Would the reasonable thing to be to manufacture some petty beef and turn everyone against me and my son, resulting in almost no one showing up? Apparently yes to my sister and mother.
Well, it wasn't petty beef because it was $77. That's more than petty.
It was very expensive beef. Because that makeshift invoice, I had another look at it after I posted, printed on an inkjet printer that slightly bleeds red even on black and white, just like my mother's old faulty printer, which means she printed it before the wedding. So it wasn't the caterer's fault. They probably never charged the OP.
Maybe.
It was actually my son that noticed and mentioned it. Looked like it came from my mom's crappy printer. But you know what I'm noticing?
What are you noticing?
The fact that we have all these full episodes for you to listen to with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, or iHeartRadio and search a Poke Storytime. Do you have any final thoughts?
The way that last sentence was it was really feeling like a Scooby-Doo episode over here.
I mean, did my sister really spend her wedding night creating an invoice? Of course it was already prepared. This was all planned. I called my mom and confronted her yesterday, and she just said it was your sister's wedding. All the attention should have been on her anyway. Why didn't you say that?
Now I'm just imagining the wedding night. The husband is like, babe, come back to bed. And she's like, wait, I have to finish it.
I'm furiously typing this invoice.
He goes, oh, babe, are you talking in your villain voice again? What are you doing?
Oh, she'll never cross me again. Her wedding was on Saturday. She doesn't own Sunday. That's the Lord's day. Doesn't own it. So they humiliated my son so she can play princess for an extra day. Honestly, things have been bad in the past, but for the past 5 years, I thought I was really making progress with my mom, but I'm questioning her role in my life now more than ever. Even worse, my son no longer wants anything to do with both of them, and maybe that's for the best. And there are some relevant comments. Circus Sloth says, this is absolutely wild. I guess I can see wanting all the attention on the couple the day of, but the fact that she saw celebrating her nephew the day after her wedding with all her family around as a burden, taking attention away from her own pretty princess special weekend, instead of being overjoyed to share a fun, happy milestone with him, is gross. OP says, that's the thing that bothers me. At any point, she could have said, I I thought about it some more, and I really want the attention of the weekend to be on me. I would have been annoyed, but canceled the birthday party. But to not say anything and cause this blow up is really out of this world. Okay, cryptographers. 1302. Can I see being slightly annoyed at a nephew's B-day party the day after the wedding? Maybe. But I'm absolutely passing away that she had him served a kid's portion like he isn't eating more than most adults at almost 18. I mean, just every step of her plot makes no sense. OP says, I totally get it. When I first approached her about it, it was only because it's a milestone birthday and my extended family is spread throughout the country. So it meant everyone who came to the wedding could also celebrate my son's birthday. I even booked an entirely different venue so she wouldn't feel encroached on. If she or even my son wasn't okay with it, I wouldn't have pressed the issue at all. I legitimately thought she was happy with extending the festivities. Well, she's legitimately kind of crazy. So that's the end of the story. But wow.
Wow.
I don't understand.
That was so wild.
Yeah.
Really just staging a whole coup. Oh, that is so wild.
But that's the end of that story, folks.
I don't want my friend as my bridesmaid, but I'm afraid to hurt her feelings.
Oh, you're still going to have to decide.
I'm getting married next fall to my best friend of 8 years, Max, 40 mil. And I've been struggling to put together my bridal party because I no longer wish to have my best friend, Lindy, as one of my bridesmaids. I say my best friend in quote marks because for all that she proclaims herself to be my best friend. I'm so glad I'm your best friend. I've had to do that to a few people. So glad I'm your best
So
friend.
glad I'm your best friend. And they're like, yeah, Riley. Yeah.
What are my eye colors? What is my color of my eyes?
Oh, beautiful.
Mm.
That's the best response if you don't know someone's eye color.
Beautiful. I love it. She hasn't been treating me like a good one for a while, and I also no longer regard her as one of mine, as all the details below and more. Ooh, tea. By the way, this comes from Screaming in the Morning, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, long backstory for context, and they are blue and green, not really hazel. I have been friends with Lindy ever since we were in elementary school together. We've been each other's best friends for almost as long as I can remember. We've always had each other's backs and supported each other and been there for each other. We used to have a lot of shared interests, but as we've grown up and gone to different universities and pursued different things, those shared interests have decreased. I don't think it's entirely due to no longer having many, or any at all, shared interests that we have grown apart. I have many friends, some of who I have known for almost as long as Lindy, and others less than that. And even after our shared interests have changed, we have managed to remain close. There have been some stumbling blocks in our long-time friendship that I have, over time, caused me to grow a bit more guarded around her, but for the most part, I didn't make it much of an issue about it. In retrospect, I should have. Oh boy. I know exactly where this one's going.
Oh, he can see the future, folks. He's
like,
he can smell the future.
It's ripe.
Oh, he smells what's cooking.
Yeah. So the incident that has caused me to start truly reevaluating our friendship took place last spring. Our beloved family cat of 10 years, Cheese Puff, was diagnosed with late-stage cancer. Less than 2 months later, we had to make the decision to put him down to sleep as he was suffering too much.
R.I.P. Cheese Puff.
Arrangements were made with his vet to have him put to sleep in the familiar comfort of our home. Since it was a planned thing, I asked Linda ahead of time if she'd be able to come over to be with me, as I didn't want to be alone at such time. She said she had plans in the afternoon, and I told her that was fine, as I didn't know how long things would take with the vet and funeral and ceremony with the funeral company anyways. I asked her if she could come afterwards, anything from the evening onward, as I'd really appreciate the company. She said she wasn't sure if she would have the energy to do so, so she had planned to head home after her afternoon outings to rest. Once more, I told her that this was fine and she didn't have to come over too early, that she could take a nap first if needed and come after she felt more rested. Again, she said she wasn't sure if she could make it afterwards and decided to stop pressing. And I decided to stop pressing the issue.
Okay. Sometimes when we stop pressing issues develop.
Nah,
Because we ain't pressing it.
I'm sorry. You are now demoted to friend. Dude, if someone's cat was being passed away, and they're like, I'm gonna have the issue. I'm just sad like OP had to ask her to come over 3 times. Instead, I asked Max and then my boyfriend if he could keep me company that evening, and he immediately told me he'd be there, and whatever I wanted to arrange for food that I might like to eat, that he'd cheer me up with. Then when the day came to say goodbye to Cheese Puff, my siblings and I were all there, along with some of my siblings' close friends. I kept Max updated as to what was happening so that he'd know what time to come over. That whole day, Lindy never once called or even texted to check in on how I was doing or offered any words of comfort or condolences. That night, I made a bunch of social media posts about Cheese Puff. Cheese Puff's passing, it was really hard to type them out and select the pictures even now, more than a year on. I can't look at my photos of Cheese Puff without tearing up. Many of my friends, both close ones and acquaintances like, offered their condolences and shared pictures and stories about Cheese Puff. A good number of them even reached out to me privately to support in various ways, but not Lindy. I know exactly why Lindy didn't want to come over.
What?
Lindy only strives on taking other people's energy. Thus, if you don't have any energy to take, she's not going to be there. So she was with other people taking their energies, and she's going to feast on that through the afternoon because Lindy is an energy vampire.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't have any energy in your bucket to pour into hers, she's not coming around.
Lindy has a few cats of her own, one
What?
of which is older than Cheese Puff. So it isn't that she doesn't understand the love between a person and their fur baby. Even the next day, it was radio silence from her until the afternoon, when she asked my family how I was holding up. When I said I wasn't really doing well, she sent me a thumbs up reaction, and then immediately began venting about unrelated stuff that she was going through.
Ugh. He was right. Do a little this. Do a little this.
Told you I smelled that.
His nose is approximately 8 minutes in the future at all times.
Really is. That would be wild.
That
is a cool superpower.
undeniably would be wild.
Dang. When I tried to explain how I was feeling, how much I was missing Cheese Puff, and how overwhelming the hurt and grief was, she just sent me a GIF and a heart react.
So
Modern day condolences.
that's like, remember how they say, like, the worst they can say is no. Like, that's the worst thing I could have been sent in that moment. Especially
Oh
because
my
this person
gosh.
has cats.
Yeah.
So they understand. It's not like they're just like, oh, I don't get it because I don't have any animals.
No,
It's like
they have their own
cats.
Cheese Puff.
Right. So it's just like, dude, after this, never associating with you. Don't
Yeah.
call me. Don't go by my house.
Also, let me know if you have a friend like this, or did, in the chat right now.
Mm.
And then Lindy ghosted me for the rest of the day until the next day, when she texted me about how she was going to get a new cat and also a salon makeover she was planning to have. Anytime I tried to talk about how I was feeling, she would either give me a token reply and then continue talking about her own plans or issues, or just outright not address what I had told her. I tried a few times throughout that conversation until I eventually gave up trying to seek comfort from her. After that exchange, I just stopped talking to her about anything related to my grief, since she was just showing no interest or empathy. In fact, only making me feel more upset than I already was. It was really hurtful how she was completely dismissing my pain and made everything about her. That eventually turned to me no longer turning to her for any form of emotional or mental support, as she didn't seem willing to offer it to me. Something also happened in her personal life, such that I didn't want to add my personal burdens to what she had to deal with. All that, along with some other instances in the past and more instances till now, has shown me this pattern of behavior with her. She treats me like a sounding board for all of her problems, but doesn't reciprocate when I approach her with mine. She'll come to me with struggles or unhappiness regarding the inconvenience to me, but only deign to address mine if she's available or feeling up to it. Otherwise, she makes excuses or simply withdraws from me with the discussion.
She got that one-way bucket, dude. One way, only one way. Filling up. You're filling up my bucket. I'm not filling up your bucket. My bucket. All this belongs in my bucket. You can't have any.
How does a person engineer themselves to become an energy vampire?
I think a lot of times accidentally. I feel like a lot of the people who do this kind of thing aren't acutely aware that it's what they're doing. Like they might have a vague sense that like, you know, they don't do that for others, but they probably just write it off in a way of like, oh, well, I just don't do that. That's just not who I am. I'm more of like a talker, not a listener. And then they just are like, and that's fine. They don't understand how much of a detriment it is to just always eat someone else's crap.
Yeah.
Even when you're going through it, they come over and they're like, yeah, whatever, shut up. Anyways, yeah, so they totally scuffed my shoe and I got into the elevator and like basically from there, my whole day just got worse and worse. And it's like, yeah, no, but I put my cat down yesterday. I put my cat, no, shut up because I'm getting to the best part of the story. And it's like,
what the heck?
You have to be fully unaware because no one would consciously live their life that way.
OP continues. I spoke to my therapist about the cheese puff incident and subsequently about the other instances. Took her advice to draw up boundaries to better protect my emotional and mental health. I have since then severely curtailed my deeper interactions with Lindy. This person reads books. The boundaries I've drawn, which everyone else respects, but Lindy often treats as if they don't apply to her. She's a 4. She's a 4 on the Enneagram test.
Wait, what?
You'll take the test.
The Enneagram?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I've done that once. I can't remember.
It's like
what
the
it was.
Christian version of like the Gemini
Astrology
stuff.
Oh, okay.
Have helped immensely. But at the same time, I often worry that it's coming off as me icing her out and that I'm being unfair or mean to her by doing so. Dude, what do you want? Do you want not to be having a good friend or do you want this not good friend? Like, yeah, you're icing her out.
I mean, yeah, you can tell her why. Yeah. So I did have the thing closest to this for me was like I had a buddy who would always just like complain. Where it's like we could be talking about something great and then it's like all of a sudden it's like about how something sucks or it's like how they don't like this or don't like that. And I eventually told him, I was like, hey, can you like, I really don't like how you do that. You seem to do it like a lot, like almost without knowing. And then he changed it and it improved.
All that and more I have left unsaid has left me not wanting her to be part of the bridal party for my next fall. Oh yeah, the bridal party thing. When we were younger, we talked about weddings and such, swore to be each other's maids of honor when it came time. I no longer want her to be my maid of honor. I don't even want her to be a regular bridesmaid. I've already asked Mask's brother's wife to be my maid of honor, and I've already asked 2 close friends of 10 to 15 years to be my bridesmaids. I no longer trust Lindy to be there for me, to support me, to prioritize me ahead of herself on a day when I'm likely to be stressed out and in pain. I have chronic pain issues and needed all the support, mentally and emotionally, but possibly physically as well, as I can get. I don't expect to have any crazy bridezilla demands, but it's going to be a long and tiring day, and I can rely on someone I no longer trust who might just peace out on me halfway through if she's just not feeling it.
Yeah.
Additionally, Lindy has her own chronic conditions that do affect her stamina and energy levels. Even if our friendship wasn't rocky, it would be unfair and setting her up for failure to expect her to take on that role, as it will start really early in the morning and last easily 16 hours or longer. I've come up with a way for her to still be a part of my wedding beyond just attending as a guest, as I don't want her to feel left out or that I'm deliberately shunning her. However, I worry that no matter what alternatives I offer and how I make it work, she'll be hurt by me not asking her to be a bridesmaid. I've tried to best prioritize her as many aspects of my life until the cheese puff incident. Even now, I still can't help but feel like I owe it to our many years of friendship to show her the favor to cut her some slack. By the way, you can cut us some slack by going to your favorite podcast platform, searching up OK Storytime, and listening to all these crazy stories just like this one. I don't know what to do regarding this whole bridesmaids matter. Do I go ahead with my alternative option, or do I not have her involved at all beyond just being a guest?
Yeah, that one.
My indecision is founded in a nagging feeling that maybe I'm being too harsh on her I would really appreciate the advice on how to proceed with sensitivity and kindness.
Aww.
Thank you all for taking the time and effort to read this ridiculously long post. There's so much backstory and so much more context, and there are many more incidents that have happened in the past since losing my cat. They've all added up to me making me feel this way, and I do not want to make these decisions. I only spoke to this about the main one with Cheese Puff.
OP's just a sweetie pie. I feel like I'm being too harsh. Well, dude, she literally ghosted you after your cat passed away.
Yeah, that's not really a best friend. That's more of a friend at that point. And people grow. I'm talking to a friend right now where her and her girlfriend that like have been like friends for years. They now have different interests. And they're like, hey, like, she wants to go do this, but I kind of want to go and do that. And they're not, like, matching on that. I'm like, I know it's really hard because you guys have been, like, friends since, like, elementary school. People grow apart. And it sounds like emotionally, you guys are going apart. And just as marriage, I feel like good friendships should be, like, equal yoke. Like, you want people around you that will support you and set you up for your best self. You don't want people, like, taking that from you. Sometimes you can give that. And you can give energy to others, but if like people are taking it from you or they're not supporting you in their best day, even on your worst days, I should show you something.
Yeah, it should.
My friend removed me as her maid of honor after everything I did for her.
All of it!
Nearly a year ago, my best friend asked me to be her maid of honor. I was so excited and I said yes and took the task very seriously. By the way, this comes from a sweet fun 17.9, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. So I've gone dress shopping with her for her dress. I went shopping with her for bridesmaid dresses as well. I spent hours addressing the save the dates with her, kept in contact with her bridesmaids about ordering their dresses and planning jewelry and shoes in the color that she wants. I made sure someone could organize her bridal shower because I was out of state for work for 3 months, making sure that they understood her wishes for the party. I also personally took the time to look through her decor inspo and saved items on Amazon on an Amazon list for her to go through so she could look at affordable options that she wanted to purchase, which she was very happy about. I also want to note I have already planned her bachelorette party and just needed to call and finish the booking process completely as we are a little more than a month out. It's being hosted in a town and a very chill night as she requested. I travel for work and I turned down multiple jobs so that I would be close for her wedding and events if she were to need my help planning these last few months.
Wow.
Whoa, you're rejecting job offers because of this?
Way too much.
That's too much, man. This has resulted in me being out of work for the last 3 months because she was upset that I was going to be out of the state. There have been no jobs close enough to home that made sense, as I'd have to drive back home multiple times during my assignment. But I finally found a job. Hooray! I literally rearranged my career just to be close by to help her. It was a shock to me to receive a very lengthy text this week telling me that she was going to have someone else take over as maid of honor. And she was demoting me to bridesmaids because I told her I may not be able to attend the bridal shower due to work. I could only submit a request for the weekend of her wedding off. I would attend rehearsal, but maybe not rehearsal dinner because I was under the impression that I had to pay for dinner myself and it was at a very expensive restaurant. And because I cannot currently afford to get my nails done the day before the wedding, and I told her I likely won't be attending that event either. Finances are tight with a new house, personal wedding planning, and a baby on the way. She also feels I haven't communicated with her enough, even though I check in at least once a month asking if she needs me. I always end these convos with telling her that she should reach out if something comes up. Also, apparently my texts don't come off as being excited for her, which makes her mad. I guess she feels like I don't want to be involved at all because of these few things, thus her stripping me of the position after I've done all this work. This text also came right after I asked if we could have a backup, learn how to bustle her dress in case my pregnant belly doesn't allow me to bend and squat very well to do it on the wedding day. Apparently, it saddened her that I even asked. She said she needs someone who will be there for all events physically to support her. I feel pretty bummed and disrespected right now, as if nothing I did mattered. I'm considering stepping down completely after this. Would I be the a-hole doing so? And we do have some comments here, but the verdict from the comments are not the a-hole. But let's hear some of those comments. Tutcraft Verk says, wow, massive not the a-hole. You've gone out of your way for this person who you thought was your best friend, and she pissed all over you when you couldn't put 100% of your own life completely on hold to wait on her hand and foot. You are not the a-hole, and I would seriously reconsider whether this is even a friendship. If it were me, I wouldn't go to the wedding at all. Lurker the Pip says, why should you even attend the wedding at this point? She is basically crapping on all of your contributions and effort. Would it not be best to cut your losses and dump the wedding and friend? And we do have an update. I sent a text last night that outlined essentially everything I've done listed here in this post, and I expressed how hurt and disrespected I felt. I told her what I felt a maid of honor is, and that I felt this wasn't it, that it's all basically transactional and based on what more I could offer her. I also included the fact that she hasn't personally communicated with me much either lately about the wedding or my personal life. I politely let her know that I'd be stepping down. Sent over 8 hours ago with no response as of yet. There are some relevant comments. OP says, I want to cry from all of these responses. Thank you all so much. I feel validated in my thoughts and my decision. I thought I was maybe being too hormonal and making a rash choice, but this thread helped solidify everything for me. There's Beans says, before you do anything, I strongly recommend that you carefully consider whether or not you want to retain this friendship. If you step down, you are very likely going to end your friendship. Alternatively, you could try to have an open and honest conversation with her about how you feel and what you've done and go from there. A lot of the time, these things are mere misunderstandings that can be resolved with clear communication. OP says that is very true. I do want to note that I did try to have a conversation about this prior, where she still ended the conversation saying that she would be talking to the replacement maid of honor. I also sent yet another message regarding finances and the events / why I had said no to attending, because when I said probably not in the group messages, she didn't care enough to ask me personally why, just enough to get mad about it. She didn't respond to the one about finances in over 24 hours. And we do have an update from a month later. Whoa.
Yeah, I mean,
do we think this friendship is lasting?
it sounds like it shouldn't because it sounds toxic, dude.
I guess, yeah. Like if she's trying to talk about her feelings and it's not even being like responded to, then that's like, what is the point? What's
There's
the point?
you're not being seen at all, like as a human.
That's what you
It's just
do
your
with
own
your friends.
person.
Talk about
Like-
your feelings.
Like, can you imagine, you have a wedding
Yeah.
and you tell your friend who's like, oh, I have this job opportunity. Like, you can't do that.
What? You can't. You're gonna be so far away from me
and
and my parties.
and they're like, yeah, but this job would be great. And you're like, I'm sorry. Do you hate me?
yeah.
Like,
And maybe they do just have a different view of what a maid of honor is, because that's what another thing that she said, like in this text, like, this is how I see a maid of honor. I don't think that you're treating me that way. It's not transactional, but maybe the bride thinks it is. But we do have an update from 1 month later. I sent a long text to my friend 2 days after my original post. The text was outlining everything that I've done for her and why I felt disrespected in her decision to demote me from maid of honor so close to the wedding date. I also was sure to tell her that I have lost a lot financially in trying to be a good friend and stay close for her wedding and events like she had wanted. I ended the message telling her that I still want her to enjoy her day and I don't want it too full of any drama or bitterness, so I felt it best that I stepped down from it all. It took 2 full days for her to respond. We went back and forth quite a bit, with her telling me the additional reasons for demoting me were because I hadn't been texting her enough and asking her about her personal life, / I wasn't excited enough in my messages about the wedding, etc.
dude, hire me. Give me a salary.
Right.
Like, you want me to be your personal wedding cheerleader and put my entire life on hold for that? You gotta give me some moolah.
That's really interesting because I could understand not choosing someone in the first place for maid of honor because maybe they're just not that close to me. They don't ask about me that much. And they're not that excited for me when I get married, like when I get engaged.
Yeah.
But if you're choosing someone to be your maid of honor and then they aren't as excited as you thought, it's like, wasn't there a good friendship there to begin with? Essentially, she felt I was more concerned with my own life currently with pregnancy and finding a job than I was with her wedding. And oh my goodness, that is crazy. But you should be more concerned with the fact that we have full episodes with more stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. Put your job and your pregnancy on hold.
Put your entire life on hold because I need you to listen to this. And if you don't,
listen,
you hate me.
hate me and you will be demoted. But it's okay. We'll always welcome you back.
Well, now I can't even.
Actually,
You're
no.
not
That's
demoted.
not gonna happen.
I'm giving you a raise right now.
Actually, yeah, you're gonna be raised. You're actually not gonna be my maid of honor. You're gonna be the groom.
Technically, you guys are really the boss of all of us. You're promoted to the CEO.
Yeah, exactly. And there is a little bit more to the story, but
Ouch, man.
Yeah, I
She
really.
felt I was more concerned with my own life.
Yeah, that's
Of course she is.
insane. I would really. It's time to step back from this
Yeah.
friendship.
A wedding is just a big party. I know it's really big. It's a really cool moment for everyone. It's a cool moment in your life, and other people are there to support you.
Mhm.
It's not a cool moment in their life. I mean, maybe a little bit. Hopefully, they're excited about it,
Well,
but
it's
not in
this-
the way that
in
a
this
pregnancy
one,
is.
Certainly not.
It's crazy.
It's like destroy your whole life for my wedding. Thank you.
Yeah, it like they're not gonna look back when Opie has her child. She's not gonna look back at her pregnancy and be like, "Wow, remember that time that my friend got married? That
Yeah.
was the best part of being pregnant.
She's gonna
Not the fact that I'm growing a child."
She's gonna say the reason you turned out so great is because
Yeah,
when I was pregnant with you, I was the maid of honor at my friend's wedding,
yeah.
and all of her energy must have seeped into my womb.
Exactly. There is a little bit more to the story. Let's wrap this up. There were a lot of pity me messages from her, and after reiterating that I no longer wanted to be in the wedding at all, I stopped replying. I haven't heard from her in over 3 weeks. I've returned my bridesmaid dress, and I feel so at peace with my decision.
Yes.
I don't think I'll be attending the wedding at all.
Yes.
Thank you for all the well wishes for my pregnancy and baby as well. We found out last week it's a boy. Congratulations. I also start my new job this week, so time to get my finances back on track and try to fix the mess that has been created in the area before the baby is here. And that is the end of that story.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Good for you, OP. Finally prioritizing yourself, because holy crap, man.
Yes. Truly.
That's crazy.
You're like, and I'm at peace with this decision. I imagine you like in the Nirvana pose, like birds are landing on
Yeah.
your hands and your shoulders, and
There's
you're just
music playing.
completely at
Exactly.
ease with your decision.
That is the end of that story. We do have another one coming right up.
My sister-in-law kept taking over my wedding. It made me want to uninvite her.
I don't understand why you get all the attention today.
My fiance, Nate, 27 male, and I, 26 female, have been together for almost 3 years. He proposed to me about 6 months ago, and shortly after, we found out I was pregnant. We were planning on having our wedding in the spring of next year. Nate has a twin sister, let's call her Kayla, who is 27 female. By the way, this comes from Throwaway62, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Nate and I announced our engagement and my pregnancy at the same time. We made a cute little Facebook post with a couple engagement pics and an ultrasound photo that said something along the lines of, "The Smith family is going to have 2 new additions." Kayla commented almost immediately that we will have to wait until next year to actually get married because she looks best in fall colors. And as my maid of honor, she'll get a say in choosing bridesmaids dresses. I literally stared at my phone screen, wondering if I read something wrong. I showed the comments to Nate and asked him why she thought she would be my maid of honor. He had no clue. So I texted her, and this is how that exchange went. "Hey Kayla, I saw that you saw our announcement on Facebook. Thank you for being ready to step up for me. But we haven't started working out the wedding logistics yet, and I haven't picked my bridesmaids, much yet my maid of honor. Once we have more details of the wedding worked out, we'll let you know."
Well, you don't have to choose maid of honor anymore. I'm your maid of honor.
I don't understand. I never asked you to be.
You don't have to ask. That's what makes me such a good sister.
I'm sorry, but you're not my maid of honor.
We'll see about that.
I showed these messages to Nate, who said he would have to deal with it. I have no idea what the extent of our conversation was, but Kayla never brought up being my maid of honor again. I just reread her ugly attitude in different ways. As of now, Nate and I have booked the venue, caterer, the florals, decorations, and the DJ already. A couple of months ago, I invited mine and Nate's mothers, along with my sister, Sam, who I will ask to be my maid of honor, to do some dress shopping. Kayla found out from her mom and invited herself to tag along. We started looking for a dress for Sam. I wanted my bridesmaid in a pretty pastel yellow, but Sam is going to be more golden. Kayla would not shut up about how yellow is such an ugly color, and I should go with pink or blue instead. She even grabbed a bunch of pink and blue dresses to try on herself. I tried my best to ignore her, while her mother entertained her bizarre ideas. Sam and my mother were making constant comments about how it's my wedding, and if Kayla isn't going to be helpful, she should just leave. Unfortunately, she didn't, and I'm too nice to punt her out in front of my mother-in-law, who I already have a strained relationship with. Our mothers were able to shop for their dresses with little interference from Kayla, but as soon as I started trying things on, she had all sorts of things to say. She would tell me that certain styles wouldn't look good once I had a baby bod, and even told me I should consider not wearing white since I'm obviously not a virgin. I told her she wasn't a virgin when she got married either, yet she still wore wore an adorable white sundress to the courthouse. She grumbled about how that wasn't the same, but I was already halfway back to the changing room. I still don't know what happened while I was there, but when I came out, Kayla and mother-in-law were gone, and Sam had a smug smile on her face. I never discussed any details of the wedding with Kayla, if I could help it, but I've heard Nate sharing some of our plans with her. He told her we were planning on a buffet-style meal because we have a lot of dietary restrictions with our family, and that was the cheapest way to accommodate everybody, literally like a few $1,000s difference. And she told him he deserves someone who wouldn't go cheap on his wedding, even though the buffet was his idea. He told her about our venue choices. He picked out the reception venue. I picked out the ceremony venue, which is the same place as my parents got married. My father passed away, and since he cannot walk me down the aisle, I always wanted to get married in the same place he was married with my mom to sort of feel like he was there with us. She told Nate that my venue choice was tacky and people would make fun of us. When he mentioned he wanted a DJ, she made a comment about how she knew I wasn't classy enough to want a live band. Each and every time she would make a comment like this, Nate would tell her that they were his ideas, but not call her out for how she spoke about me, which I do feel a little hurt by. I expressed this to him, and he told me that he would try to do better about calling her out, but she's always just been this way. I knew they were about to say that. Every time people act this way, right after that, she's always been this way. We can't help it. That's just how she is. I told him that's no excuse for her to be disrespectful and stick her nose in her business that doesn't concern her. He hesitantly agreed. On Friday, I got an email from the venue for our ceremony confirming our cancellation and asking if we need to reschedule. I knew this part was going to happen too. Shortly after that, I got a voicemail from our caterer explaining that my new wedding planner had just called, but the line had dropped and was wondering if I could pass along her phone number so they could finish going over the changes in the menu. I immediately emailed the venue back saying, no, we're not canceling or rescheduling. Please keep our original dates on the books. I called the caterer, who explained that a woman had called and said she was my new wedding planner. She said that I wanted to make some changes to the buffet contract, namely switching from a buffet style to plated meals. I told him that was not the case. I do not have a wedding planner, and please do not make any changes unless contacted by me or Nate directly with the contact information we have on file. The caterer suggests putting a password on fire. Also, he said he wouldn't make any changes unless the person requesting them knew the password. I called both venues and all of our other venues to put in place the same types of precautions. They gave their sympathies for me that having to deal with this. When Nate got home from work, I confronted him about it. I told him someone tried to cancel my venue and change our catering. I told him the only person it could be is Kayla. He tried to deny and say that she wouldn't do it, but I reminded him of how she undermined and insulted me during every step of this engagement. I told him I wanted her uninvited. I will give someone who has already done so much to make this wedding stressful the opportunity to do something like show up in white. He fought me on this, but I basically told him that I felt disrespected by him over how he is treating Kayla to treat me. I am his partner. I'm the mother of his child. My feelings and comfort should be more important to him than his sister's childish antics. He met with her for lunch earlier today, and once we got dessert, he asked her if she was trying to make changes to our wedding plannings. She said, and I quote, well, yeah, it's the maid of honor's job to make sure the bride is making the right decisions. Before Nate could even say anything, I told her she is not my maid of honor. And if she was, that would not give her the authority to undermine our decisions and make changes to the wedding plannings and budget behind our backs. She said she didn't see what the big deal was since her grandmother had offered us a pretty large chunk of change as a present to help pay for the wedding. I told her again, the wedding budget is none of her business.
Yeah.
We tried to argue, but I just cut her off. I told her that her behavior regarding our wedding thus far has been nothing but disrespectful and insulting. I told her trying to cancel my venue had crossed the line, and she was no longer invited to the wedding. She seemed absolutely shocked by this. He looked at Nate, waiting for him to defend her. And then he did. He looked at me and said, why don't you give her one more chance? I asked if he was kidding. He said, no, Kayla was only doing what she thought was best for us. And now that we've told her that it wasn't okay, we should give her another chance to correct her behavior. I didn't even respond. I just got up and left.
Yeah, good. Because that's the thing. She doesn't realize that this isn't okay. She literally, you called her out on this, said that this wasn't okay, and she was like, I don't see the big deal. She's never gonna figure it out.
I went and got in my car and drove home, thinking to myself, if he wanted to side with his sister, then he could rely on her to get home. I ignored him, trying to get a hold of me. Once at home, I packed a small bag and left for Sam's house. I told her everything, and she told me I could stay as long as I needed to. But now she's at work for the night, and that's where I am. Trying to process what just happened. Trying to figure out when I became second place in Nate's life. Trying to figure out if there's any way to fix what he just broken in me. He keeps switching between asking where I am and telling me he didn't think it was this big of a deal. And apologizing and asking me to come home and talk. And you can talk with us on your favorite freaking podcast platform. Just search up OK Storytime on Apple, Spotify, or iHeartRadio and listen along and talk with us. I don't feel ready to talk to him just yet. I'm still too upset. And I feel like I'll do or say something I will regret, like call off the wedding altogether. I just told all my vendors that we aren't canceling the wedding, but right now, I kind of want to. I don't know if it's my hormones making me feel crazy or if I'm valid and how hurt I am feeling. I just don't know what to do or what to think. So am I the a-hole for not giving her a second chance? Or is my fiance right that she deserves a chance to prove herself before she gets uninvited from the wedding altogether? If she's going to sabotage you once, she's going to sabotage you again.
Yeah, I don't know what he's expecting that chance to be.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like we'll just see, like we'll forgive you for changing our freaking wedding plans behind our back. Like, so we'll just see what else you do. Like, what is his line gonna be? Like, is she gonna have to like start a fire at the wedding or something? Like, truly, like what's gonna happen?
Yeah, he's not getting it. He does
don't
not
get it.
see how manipulative and how toxic she is.
And it really sucks that they're having a baby because like I think that happened like early on in their relationship, right?
They got engaged and then they were having a baby too.
They got engaged and then got pregnant afterwards. So they were already dating a while and decided to get engaged before having a baby, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was kind of worried it was like a shotgun kind of wedding.
We got an update to this wild story. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who read my original post and offered their judgments and advice. Writing this out really helped me process what I was feeling and hearing that I wasn't overreacting or just being hormonal from people that are removed from the situation was comforting. I read every single comment and there is no way to express how much all the kind words meant to me. Blah, 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 lots of comments. I spent last night at Sam's house and mostly ignored Nate's texts and calls. Kayla texted me once also telling me to not let my hormones make me irrational. I just blocked her, but someone advised me to unblock and just silence her notification so if she escalates it, I could maybe use it in a court case, in my custody case. I did unblock her earlier today, and I'm glad I did, but we'll get there. I replied to Nate at one point last night telling him that I was safe and I'm at Sam's house and I would be home tomorrow today after work to talk about everything. I expressed again that I was feeling really hurt about not being heard or backed up by him and that I needed time to decide what I wanted to do. He asked what I meant by that, if I meant canceling the wedding altogether. I told him that is exactly what I was considering. His reply, don't let your hormones make you do something irrational. We'll talk tomorrow. Anyone else want to take a guess at where he got that line? That is just about made my decision for me. I didn't reply, not even when he texted me, good night, I love you. Instead, before I went to bed for the night, I sent him a link to my post and told him to read through it before we talk. Someone said he probably sent it to Kayla too. If she read it, she hasn't commented. And if she just texted me about it, it was while I had blocked her. This morning, I called into work and had breakfast with Sam. She gave me the number of a family lawyer that her friend used for his custody case. I spoke to the assistant, explained my situation, and luckily, she had a slot open after lunch for my initial consultation. So I took a shower and basically just kept reading through the comments on my post until it was time to talk to her. I told the lawyer exactly why I'm leaving Nate and how I'm terrified over how his sister would influence him with our baby. I don't trust him not to be influenced by Kayla, and I have our baby's best interest in mind. So I want to fight for sole custody and supervised visitation. I told her, if possible, I want to include something that restricts Kayla from having any contact with my child. I'm already mentally preparing to have to fight Nate in court because I know he will not agree to any of this. My lawyer told me that while my concerns are valid, it may be difficult to convince a judge to put a contact restriction in the custody order based on family drama alone. She advised me to document everything Kayla has done and anything moving forward so we can present it to a judge if and when we end up in court. She gave me a list of things to think about, like if I want Nate to get any kind of custody at all or just visitation, how I want to handle things like medical care and education for my child, and if I want to put communication restrictions like only talking over text. I have never would have thought and never thought I would have to think of. We're supposed to do all this together. She told me to take a few days to gather my thoughts and decide on what I want to do. I scheduled an in-person meeting for this Friday to go over everything. Hopefully I will have my mind straight by then. But if anyone has advice when it comes to what to put on these custody papers, I'm all ears. After the phone call with my lawyer, I checked some more comments and then took a much needed nap. When I woke up, I had a text from Nate asking what time I would be off work so he could have dinner ready for me when I get home. I told him I will be there around 5, but if Kayla is there, I will be turning around and leaving without a word. I then asked him if he read the post I sent him. He said, I did, but I'd rather talk to you than read you bash me and my sister on the internet with a bunch of strangers. Don't worry, I told Kayla she's not welcome. This pissed me off beyond belief. Clearly, neither did he read the post or still doesn't realize how truly in the wrong they are here. Either way, I lost all motivation to try and talk to work things out. I'm just done. I texted him, don't worry about dinner. All I will be doing is gathering some more things and dropping off at my lawyer's contact info. There's nothing more for us to discuss. He asked what I meant. What lawyer? And what told me is he's been waiting to talk about this. Unless it was fine. Sam wished me luck before I left and assured me I was welcome back once we were done talking. I told her I absolutely will be back and thanked her for everything so far. Then I stopped and got one of those boba refreshments from Starbucks to calm my nerves before I went home. When I got home, Nate had dinner ready like he said he would. I ignored him and just went straight to our room to pack up some more of my clothes and toiletries. He tried asking me if I was really going to talk to him, but I just ignored him for the time being. Just seeing his face made my anger flare up, and I wanted to be smart about our decision. After a while, he gave up and just went to eat in the dining room. When I was finished, I went and sat with him at the table, but didn't touch any of the food. I started a voice memo on my phone before I said, go ahead. He looked at me all confused, so I told him he was the one that wanted to talk and must have so much to say, so go ahead. He stumbled over his words for a while, but ultimately started off with an apology, trying to tell me he didn't realize I was so upset with Kayla's behavior. I asked him if he remembered how hard I cried after I got home from dress shopping because of her comments about my choices and my body. If he remembered having to talk to her about not being my maid of honor. If he remembered our conversation just a few days ago where I told him canceling my venue that held so much sentiment to me was way too far over the line. He said he did each time and tried to add a but to argue. But I just cut him off with my next example. I told him, after all that, he's 100% should have known I was beyond with her BS. Told him I was so hurt and pissed that I wanted to uninvite her, but he wanted to give her another chance? To what? Cancel our DJ and book a live band? Dye my hair red or show up in white herself? He told me she would never do that. I told me she would never cancel my venue, but then she admitted to it in front of our faces. I told him I don't trust his opinion on his sister and that he is just as delusional as she is if he thinks she will change. I asked him why he even told her so many details of our wedding anyways. Why does her opinion for our wedding even matter? He tried to tell me that Kayla didn't get to have a real wedding when she got married. She was just a little too excited about ours. I told him she has all the right in the world to be excited, but that does not give her any rights to insult or change our choices regarding what we want for our wedding. She'll have plenty of opportunities to have a real wedding. If she could stop for 2 seconds and take her nose out of our wedding business, she could go out and find a man or woman to marry herself. Poor soul, whoever that might be. I asked him, what's next? She gets to name our baby since she lost her own. The look on his face made my stomach feel hollow. He told me, and I quote, actually, Kayla does have a few ideas for what we can name our daughter. Daughter? Side note, I had mentioned in a comment previously that we were waiting to be surprised about the gender of our baby. We were discussing baby names and had selected on the top 3 for each gender. We agreed to keep them to ourselves until the baby is born. I asked if he said daughter, and he looked like a deer caught in the headlights. He backtracked, but I pressed the issue. I asked him flat out if he knows the gender of our baby. He hesitated, but ultimately confessed to remembering that I filled out an information release form at my first OB visit.
Whoa!
So he called the office and asked them for the results of our gender scan claiming that we changed our mind and he was going to do a reveal for me. I feel absolutely sick and violated. I asked him what the F was he thinking. He said Kayla was feeling left out since Sam was planning my baby shower and not including her, and that she just couldn't wait to find out. I demanded he tell me everything. What else has he done behind my back? Did he give her the idea to pretend to be our wedding planner? Was he the one that had canceled my venue and changed our catering? He tried to tell me no, of course not. She did that on her own. I could just tell that he was lying. He absolutely put her up to all this. At that point, I didn't even care why he did. It's clear that none of our decisions will actually be ours. You always do whatever the heck he wants to and get Kayla to back him up. I don't even want to think about how many of our decisions in the past were completely undermined and changed by these two. I asked him if Kayla came to him and told him everything I'm telling him, that she doesn't feel supported by a partner, that her partner went behind her back to learn the gender of their baby without her, that her partner was retroactively changing every decision that they had agreed upon, that her partner was letting her sibling bully her relentlessly. What would he say to her? He didn't have a response, and honestly, if he did, I didn't want to hear it anymore. I knew the answer. I told him as the woman who is supposed to be his wife, me and the baby I'm carrying should be his top priority, not his twin sister. I said to him, going behind my back like that is for something as important as the gender of our baby is absolutely unforgivable. There is nothing he can do or say to fix this now. I told him I will no longer be marrying him, and it's up to him if he wants to cancel all the vendors. I said, you're more than welcome to use it all to marry Kayla, seeing that you're the only one that absolutely cares about the most.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Just get it over with already.
He tried to backtrack and apologize and explain, but every time I just cut him off and told him that I had heard enough and my mind was made up. There is no going back now. If he wants to have the slimiest chance to get back with me and have a real relationship with our baby, he will need to attend some serious therapy and do a lot of work on himself and his relationship with Kayla. I told him no woman in her right mind would ever marry him while he was this enmeshed with her. I told him any contact we will be having moving forward will be through my lawyer. I want nothing to do with his family. If I get what I want, they will have nothing to do with my daughter, because I'll be danged if I let him subject her to this treatment. I will put my lawyer's name and phone number on the table and walked out. He didn't even try to follow me. So now, on top of dealing with my lawyer for the custody case, I have to file a complaint with my OB office. Are they allowed to give him this information without my express consent? Or did me stupidly putting him on the information release form I signed give him a blanket consent to share any and all my information with him? Goodness, I didn't even think this could get any worse, but I guess that's on me for being naive. I'm glad I recorded the conversation, though, and got him admitting to doing all of this. I don't know how or if it'll help my custody case, but I sent it to my lawyer with a note that we can discuss more on Friday. I'm back at Sam's place now. She was already at work when I got back, but I texted her to wake me up when she gets home. I need my sister. I also called my mom and told her everything that happened so far. She cried with me for a while and then asked me if I needed her to do anything. I asked her if she's willing to go to the house with Sam and get the rest of my stuff, because I do not want to see Nate right now. Just picturing his face is making me feel sick. She said she was more than willing. Kayla did text me again. I'm assuming Nate talked to her after I left. It was a very long, cruel message that I don't want to repeat here. I can post a screenshot if anyone cares for the whole message, if I can figure out how to attach one. But to summarize, she called me a delusional control freak who can't let Nate make any decisions for himself and insulted my venue choice once again.
So the person who wants to plan their own wedding is a control freak, but the person who decides that someone else's wedding venue is not good enough and goes in and completely changes it, aka controls it, is not a control freak?
Honestly, after I read that, I thought the message would hurt, but it gave me a really good laugh. I took a screenshot and sent it to my lawyer as well. And that's where we're at. The wedding is off. I will call the vendors tomorrow and see if I can get any deposits back. If not, I'll let them know how to contact Nate and Kayla to see if they would like to keep things as planned. Let them throw a party for all I care, but I will be canceling my venue regardless of my refund. Neither of them are going to step foot in that sacred place if I can help it. I didn't realize how much I was letting this weight weigh on me until now. I feel a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders, even though a new one is settling very quickly. Writing everything out like this is truly so freaking helpful for me to process how I'm feeling and what I need to do. I don't know if I will keep doing formal updates, but for anyone who's interested, maybe I'll just treat this profile like a little journal as this all unfolds. Thank you again to everyone and your advice and for showing me I'm not crazy.
You're not crazy at all. Oh my God.
What in the hell did I just read?
My husband's friend has been stealing from him, and he's not doing anything about it. My husband has a very close-knit group of friends that he has known since childhood. Way before I came into the picture, they decided to get cell phone service together because of the discounts you get when you add multiple lines. By the way, this comes from user Too Chewy, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I have always had a small annoyance with their arrangement because my husband's female friend, who also happens to be my husband's best friend's wife, was the only authorized user of the account. So anytime my husband had any issues or needed something serviced, he'd have to go through her, as in ask her or meet up with her and go to the cell phone store. It bothers me still that my husband doesn't have his own password to the account and never even had a way to pay his part of the bill directly. He always had to go in-store to physically pay, which to me seems ridiculous, but I always ended up letting it go because if it didn't seem to bother him, why was this inconvenience bothering me? And yes, I did argue with him to get his own password and account, but he literally could not unless she allowed another authorized user, hence the biggest part of my annoyance. Anyways, after having a child, I was looking into cutting down on some of our unnecessary expenses. So I decided to look through our bank statements, and that's when I noticed he's been cash apping her $100 to pay his cell phone bill every month. When I asked him why he's sending $100, he told me since he upgraded his phone, he was told that was his share due to the new phone installments. For those that don't know, a phone installment just means a monthly payment for a brand new phone instead of buying it and paying $800 to $1,000. For it straight up, you can just pay $20 to $25 for 3 to 5 years. Anyways, $100 just didn't sit right with me. First of all, why would his bill ever be exactly $100? Second of all, why is it so high if the point of all of them having a group of people sharing service was for all of them to get a discount?
Wait. Is that $100 for one person?
Yeah.
That's insanity. That's actually crazy.
Well, if you're talking AT&T circa 2016, that's not crazy. That's an anti-ad. They wanted me to pay $115 a month for one line. And I was like, this is insanity. I immediately became very suspicious of this amount and asked to borrow my husband's phone and called the service provider's customer support number. And the automated system was able to tell me that for his phone number line, the service charge was $63, including the phone installment charge. I immediately felt a rush of anger. First towards my husband's female friend, the authorized account user, allowing my husband to overpay. And second, towards my own husband for not having the brains to think, this seems off. I see you. Your husband knows exactly what his phone bill is. He's paying his affair partner $47 a month.
Oh, no.
Wait, no, it wouldn't even be 47. It'd be 37. Here, babe, buy yourself something nice. Try your best not to spend it all in one place. So, granted, he has known this person since childhood and trusted her. When I told him how much his phone bill actually was, he could not believe it. I demanded he speak to her and ask her why she had been collecting $100 a month when his part of the bill was only $63. Even if his bill ever was close to $100 back in the day, the moment it ever changed to $63, I feel like she should have alerted him and said something like, hey, your line is only this much now. Stop sending $100. I understand a huge part of this is my husband's fault, but as a person that values honesty, integrity, and doing what's right, if she was the only authorized user allowed access to see this account and its charges and information, it falls on her to fairly update everyone if she's unwilling to give them access. I would never do this to someone. Why withhold other people's information and on top of that overcharge them? Especially your longtime childhood friends. Also, why would my husband ever be okay with this stupid setup anyways? But I digress. I demanded that my husband ask her why she's been collecting $100 a month, knowing his part of the bill was only $63. My husband refused to stir the pot and said next month he will just cash app her the $63 and not the $100. And if she says anything, then he'll let her know he found out that his actual cell phone bill is $63. I told him that is not okay with me, that he needs to confront her and not just sweep it under the rug as if she didn't know what she had been doing. I told him I took this as her stealing, not just from him, but from our growing family, since she has been allowing him to overpay and therefore keeping the remaining $37 each month without saying a word. I know it's not a lot, but that is money that could have gone towards our groceries or baby diapers and stuff that we desperately need, but are tight on budget for since having a kid and me becoming a stay-at-home mom. I really want to reach out to her and confront her, but at the same time, I feel like I need to leave it up to my husband to confront his childhood friend. I know he is reluctant because if he starts a feud with her, it will snowball into a larger conflict since the whole group will most likely get involved, and my husband is very non-confrontational. I just don't know what to do because this anger is bubbling inside me, and honestly, I'm mad at both of them. I'm not asking to get the money back. All I'm asking is for him to let her know that was not cool, and I expect him to leave the phone group. I personally don't want anything to do with her. He has yet to make a decision on what to do or say to her, which is probably what contributes to me still being upset about this whole ordeal. Since finding out, my husband has at least been looking into getting his own line, but unfortunately would have to wait a couple months until his phone installment is completely paid off before he could exit the service. Part of me thinks his $63 line is a good deal and will become even better once he pays off his phone installment, bringing it down to a juicy $41 a month.
Can't believe it.
It's all right.
Is this true?
It's all right, baby. Come back down to earth. Come back down to earth.
I can't.
I know that just sent you out into space
Oh,
because
I can't believe it.
that price is out of this world.
No, this is too crazy. $41, but it was $63 before.
It's a $22 savings.
They could buy baby diapers with that.
They could buy baby diapers with that, I think.
Oh,
I don't know.
wow.
And we certainly need to save on expenses. But then part of me is like, well, if he was paying $100 a month, he didn't even know he had that major discount, so why does it matter if he leaves? I am aware him leaving the group might also affect everyone else's discount, but at the same time, I don't feel that should be for him to worry about since he's been overpaying anyways. He obviously can afford his own line. If it was me, after finding all of this out, I wouldn't even consider this person a friend, but I can't think for my husband. I told my husband I will no longer go to any function I'm going to see her at and have to act fake nice like I'm not upset. Am I just overreacting? I just want him to address this. Ugh, I'm torn because I know how much he values his lifelong friendships and all. This might cause a weird rift. It sounds like you literally just zeroed in on it right there, but you're going to pretend like you didn't. It seems like my husband is the one who gets to decide if he wants to implode his decades-long friendships and not me, even if I think he's being a weird baby by not paying his own bill and confronting his friend for stealing. Please recognize that's still his place to make that call. Hey, Reddit, what would you do in this stupid situation? We got some comments. Comment number 1. Not overreacting. I would figure out how many months hubby has been overpaying the $37. As in, how many months ago did he get the new phone? Multiply those months by 37. That's how much a hubby owes this alleged friend. I.e., okay, we're doing math. Yes, I get it. She owes you money. I'm not doing all this math. Okay, honestly, if it were me, I'd contact her the second hubby finds another phone plan and tell her to cancel his line and use the money she has stolen to pay off his phone. I'd also be contacting those other friends and let them know what's going on, because if this chick was stealing from your hubby, which, yes, that's exactly what she was doing, then she is most likely stealing from them too. There are only a handful of criminals that I personally consider worse than thieves. My feelings are if you steal, you're a POS. If you steal from family or friends, you're a huge POS. OP says, I absolutely agree with you. Thieves are absolute scum. I have spoken to Hubs to make a trip down to a physical store on his next day off to speak to someone directly about his plan and demand that he somehow get access, even if it's just to pay his own bill directly. I'm aware they will have to call her to access the account, but we'll see what happens after that. At least, with an actual service representative, there we can have some type of formal mediation present. Comment 2 says, not a a-hole. Would he feel differently if she walked in the house and stole $35 every 4 weeks off the dresser? It is the same thing, and she is likely doing it to everyone else in the group. And you can join our group where we listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platform. But just search OK Storytime wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can find almost 2,500 episodes. It might even be more than that now. Wow.
Do it.
Because time is crazy.
Do it.
You might be listening to this in the future.
Do it right now.